Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. We're back. We're back with another live. And we're back with transfer deadline day. Let me just make sure I have everything set up right. I think I actually have the wrong one on. So let's start with that one. You're all more than welcome. Welcome to the United Community Channel. Transfer deadline day. And I suppose where else do we start as a United fan than with the fact that United have quite quickly, in fairness, got a replacement in for Christian Eriksen. So really, really interesting. So we're going to dive into everything that's going on. We're going to keep you all up to date as things are breaking. Obviously, I have a feeling it's going to be an interesting final few hours. We're here right till 11 o'clock, guys. So make sure you stick with us. Keeping you up to date on everything. Get your thoughts, get your comments into the chat. Even if you're not a United fan, let me know what you think about your own club, who you're signing, who you might be signing, how your squad is, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments, guys. You're all more than welcome. Chris, to see you there. Good to see you, pal. Why are you wearing blue? I never even thought of it. It's more of a navy. Let's put it that way. So we're not doing too bad. Paul is in as well. Ben is there as well. Good to see you guys. Michael, Eric, Richie, Aiden, James. All good to see you there, guys. And I appreciate anybody watching on TikTok. If you do want to keep up with the full experience, we're live on YouTube as well. Link is on my homepage. I'm going to be putting a lot of maybe snippets and Twitter updates on the screen on YouTube as well. So if it's something you want to keep up to date with, head over and check us out on YouTube, United Community Channel. But again, the link is on the homepage. So yeah, look, plenty to talk about, guys. And Chris is saying Jack is wearing blue. Well, look, Todd Bowley has so much money floating around. Not that I'm saying he threw me a few pound or anything, but we'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean? But look, guys. Really interesting day in relation to Manchester United. Jono is in. Good to see you. Spy Killer is there as well. Chicken Nugget, thanks for the gifts. Really appreciate it. So, Manchester United, we found out today in relation to Christian Eriksen, is going to be injured for quite a substantial period of time. Chicken Nugget, legend, thanks for the gifts, man. So, it was reported today that Christian Eriksen is going to be out minimum until late April, if not early May. And what that basically done is it sparked Manchester United into overdrive in relation to trying to get a replacement. Obviously, we know that the squad is paper thin at the moment, and if there was anywhere that we really couldn't afford to have got an injury in a certain area, it was midfield, central midfield. And of course, I was at the game against Reading the other night, and I mean, that tackle that big Andy Carroll put in on Eriksen. I know Andy Carroll got sent off in the end, on the night for 2 yellows, but that could have easily been a straight red card. He's a physical player at the best of times, but I think, I don't know, maybe the ex-Liverpool factor, maybe it's his last hurrah playing in Old Trafford, things like that. He was just out to do, lads, the other night, and yeah, a lot of the Old Trafford crowd were getting on his back, me included. So yeah, but anyway, look, that sparked Manchester United into life. We needed a replacement, and Manchester United have gone out and got one, and it's in relation to, oh, sorry, wrong one, there we go, and it's in relation to Sabitzer. I like what you're doing, Adam. Let's just call him Sabby, all right, because it's easier to say. But yeah, look, big centre midfielder, physical player, decent player, coming from Bayern Munich. He's coming on loan till the end of the season, according to Fabrizio Romano. No option to buy, which is interesting because he's a decent player, and I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Would you prefer an option to buy? The last thing you would really want is for this guy to come in and absolutely ball it for the rest of the season, and then we don't have an option to buy and he goes back. Whereas you stick in a little option to buy and you never know what could happen at the end of the season. But look, it's a decent signing. I can't say I know an awful lot about him, but I think I think it's going to be whatever. Time will tell whether it's a good signing or not, but it's a necessary signing in relation to, squad depth and the fact that we are so light in the middle of the field. Let's see what people are saying here. It's him or McTominay, says Michael. Let's see. Manchester United are signing Gavi, says Tariq. So I haven't heard about that. Agent Andy says digestive dipper. I don't know what that means. Kurdistan is in, says, my mate Jack, how you been? Good, pal. I hope you're doing well. Also, thanks for joining. You're more than welcome. Kieran says, I think he will be good. Let's see. McTominay is better, says Michael. But Jesus, if McTominay is better, he must be absolutely garbage. Because I don't rate McTominay that much anyway. But let's see what people on YouTube are saying here. Paul is in, says, as a Chelsea fan, I can't see Fernandes coming. Yeah, look, obviously Enzo Fernandes is going to be the big one. And if Chelsea do pull it off, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg as well, guys, between Newcastle and Southampton. So I'll keep you up to date on that as well. I'll be flicking between Sky Sports News and Sky Sports main event, watching that. But look, I mean, if Chelsea do get Enzo Fernandes, it's going to be a very good signing for you. It really is. I mean, he's one of the most sought after young central midfielders in world football at the moment, and I just don't know how Chelsea are going to get away with financial fair play. I mean, the one thing I would say about Chelsea at the moment is, they're after signing all of these players. I think, is it 12 players? I mean, getting 12 players in the January transfer window is just unheard of. It really is. And there's going to be a fire sale there. There has to be, I mean, we look at who is it that's looking to go to Arsenal? Not Kovacic, the other guy, the Italian guy. But I don't know. You can let me know as well, Paul. Obviously, you're a Chelsea fan there. You're going to have to get rid of a lot of players. I see talks of Rory Gallagher going to Newcastle as well. I don't think that's been finalised either. Well, let's see what happens. Chris says, Sabitzer is a strong player. I think it's a good signing. Ben says, Sabitzer is a quality signing, can play a number of positions. Dylan says, I agree with the two guys. Let's see. Also, it's not a panic move for him. We looked at him in the summer as well. Cottle says, well, Jack, apparently we were looking to sign, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, Cottle. I think I know who you're on about, but yeah, from Leon. Do we need to buy, suppose it depends on new owners and cash, says Ben. Aurar, is that how you pronounce it? Someone can correct me. I can't pronounce it, but I know who you're on about, guys. And look, the one thing I would say about this more than anything else is, like, okay, Eriksen got injured and we're after pushing the panic button and trying to sign, some players at, basically transfer deadline day. And everybody, don't get me wrong, everybody loves their club and their team being busy on transfer deadline day because it makes it more interesting. It really does. But why haven't we gone out and signed a couple of these players at the start of the transfer window? All of the talk was that, money isn't there, and we haven't got enough money for it, to sign players, this, that, and the other. And now all of a sudden, when we're, when Christian Eriksen gets injured, then all of a sudden, bang, within, a day or two, we're after signing a player from Bayern Munich, which is not easy to do, So I question that mentality, of the board. Obviously, the club is up for sale, but I think if I'm to look at it, in more depth, I would be a bit critical of United and the board in general because, these types of signings that we're looking at should have really been done at the start of the transfer window, to bulk up the squad regardless of whether we got an injury or not. I'll be keeping you up to date, guys. Obviously, I'm pulling the majority of my information from Sky Sports News and, of course, Twitter. So I'll keep you up to date. Samuel Luckhurst has just said Joe Hugel and Sonny Al Jafri are set to join National League side Altrincham in innovative loan moves. They will continue to train with United and be available to play for the under-21s as well as Altrincham, which is an interesting. That's something you wouldn't have heard of really before, and it's probably a smart move out United. And that reeks of an Erik ten Hag decision, if you're asking me there. Okay, he can go and they can play with Altrincham, but we also want them training with the under-21s, and we want them playing with them as well if they're needed. So, which is really good. You would have to say so. Them two players are going to get a lot of game time now for the rest of the season between the under-21s and playing for Altrincham in the National League side. So, interesting, really is. Let's see what people are saying here. Talsi says, you reckon United will push for retrospective action on that Carroll tackle? Probably not, to be quite honest with you. If it was overly violent, the FA would automatically look at it anyway. But look, let's see what happens. It's not going to make any difference to us either way. The players, Eriksen is already injured. I know as United fans, any ex-Liverpool fan is, not in our good graces, but I don't see any reason why we would do it. Andy says, I think Ten Hag just wanted a striker. We got him in Vout, and he was seemingly happy with the squad. John says, the club's up for sale, so United are trying to buy players. If Eriksen didn't get injured, no hope. And look, a lot of people saying, why would the owners, want to come out and buy players when the club is up for sale? And I mean, if you were selling your house, you wouldn't rip up all the carpet before people came to look at it. You know what I mean? So, if you spent €1,000 on putting down new carpet and freshening the place up, lick of paint, then it would probably sell quicker and sell for maybe a little bit higher. So I don't see that whole dynamic in relation to, that's why the owners are not spending anything, because I think if we did spend and we made the squad better and we pushed and not guaranteed, but made it more likely that we qualify for the Champions League next year, obviously we're still fighting on four fronts. The more players you can get, the more attractive the club will look to buyers and investors. So that would be my take on it. I think we overspent in the summer though. And obviously it was, looking back on it now and the players we have signed, and how well they're all doing, we did do well in the transfer window in relation to players in. However, we did overpay for an awful lot of them. The main one obviously being Anthony. We could have got him for half the price if we had him moved earlier in the window for him. We probably overpaid for both Martinez and Casemiro as well. I don't think we'll ever know the truth behind Casemiro, and was he, the week before we were trying to sign Rabiot and that fell through. If we got Rabiot, there's no way we would have signed Casemiro as well. We just wouldn't. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Adrian Rabiot's mother for fucking up the deal, because it meant we got Casemiro in the end. So happy days. So look, I mean, we overspent in the summer, and I think we're seeing the trickle down effect of that now in relation to the January transfer window and the amount of money we have to spend. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's see. Dylan says, I'd love... Can someone tell me how to pronounce that name? I'm really... Someone just type it out in readable or how to pronounce it, if you could break it down. I can't pronounce the name. But anyway. I can't see us getting another signing before the deadline, says Cottle. Chris says, we just need new owners and a new board now. If we signed Sabitzer early, we could let McTominay go. Solo is in from the Man United Agenda. Good to see you, pal. Go over and give the guys a subscribe over on the Man United Agenda, guys. Great Man United fan channel there. I've been on with him a few times. Getting back on with him soon again, hopefully. Cottle says, the board don't scratch their arses until they're under pressure. I agree with you there. Paul says, just seen a post, Alanga going to Palace on loan. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep up to date with everything on Twitter here and see what is coming in. Nothing major in relation to that at the moment. Man United are preparing Sabitzer's documents as we speak, according to Fabrizio Romano. And Anything else? Let's just refresh as we go. Let's see. No, nothing as of yet. But yeah, I suppose the news is starting to trickle in relation to. I'm just going to call him Aurar. Auar? Yeah, Auar. That's what I'm going to call him, Auar. So news is starting to trickle in about it. If there is some legs to it, obviously, we'll hear about it as soon as possible. Interesting one in relation to Nottingham Forest as well at the moment. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted about it only a couple of minutes ago. Nottingham Forest and PSG have a full verbal agreement on Keylor Navas, but still waiting on documents and all paperwork. It's a crucial step. Navas has already accepted days ago, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting, I mean, Nottingham Forest are just throwing the most random of transfers out there, which is, I don't know, but I mean, they're basically after signing two teams, since I suppose the January transfer window and this one as well, Chris says our new false number 9, Jadon Sancho. Kyle says, I would rather see Alanga go to Dortmund or the Championship. Well, look, I think if there is anyone going to leave from Manchester United in the next, 3 and a bit hours, it's more than likely going to be Alanga. I think everyone else has been kind of vetoed, and it's been, there's been interest in Harry Maguire. He's been told he's staying. Lindelof has been told he's staying. Scott McTominay has been told he's staying. Who else? Palestri has been told he's staying as well. And look, it comes back to what we've been saying earlier about the fact that United are wafer thin in relation to depth in their squad, and I don't want to see too many players going, because like we've seen with Christian Eriksen, if that injury had to come, say, in tomorrow night's game against Nottingham Forest, we're in trouble. Big trouble. So if we were to let one or two players go in certain areas, then all of a sudden we get a couple of injuries, backs to the wall, especially when we're going for a top 4, and obviously we have the Carabao Cup, second leg tomorrow. We're still in the FA Cup, massive game against Barcelona in Europa League coming up as well in the next few weeks. So the more players we have, the better. Really, really is. But let's have a quick look and see here. Any other updates? So, this is coming from Darmachet on Sky Sports News in the last maybe 10 to 15 minutes or so. And he said there has been a number of players that have been offered to Manchester United today, specifically. 3, Aurar, Carrasco and Isco have all been offered to Manchester United today. And as it stands, it looks like, obviously, well, in relation to maybe the rumours that are going around, we're only really been linked with Aurar, and the other two are, well, there hasn't been much talking about them really at all, has there? So it's it's a strange one. It really is a strange one, and I think, let me see. Is there anything else here on it? Yeah, I mean, Aurar has been mentioned there as well at potentially being, let me show you on the screen here. So, Manchester United have held early discussions regarding a potential loan for Aurar. However, it's far from being done and currently seems unlikely. Now, that's coming from Jonathan Schwerger, and he, let me see, who is he? I don't know who he is, but anyway. But yeah. So that's what we know so far. Let's see what people are saying. Carl says you're pronouncing it right, I think. Okay, happy days. John says, evening all. Looks like a good signing. Delighted. Yeah, so what I'll do here is I'll get some I'll get some of his... Sorry, I have to remember that I am sharing my screen as well. So I don't want to patent too... I don't want to patent up that I don't want other people to see. John says, we will get Sabitzer, but no one else until the summer. Few were offered, but won't be done this window. Phil says, João Felix will make Chelsea a contender. What do you think? Well, I don't think they'll make him a contender because they're too far off. They're not going to win the league. Can they make up the ground in relation to top four? That remains to be seen. It really does. I think it would be a big ask. I mean, let's have a look at the league table here. If we're talking league table, Chelsea are in 10th on 29 points. And, yeah, I mean, they're only 10 points off us. So there has been bigger gaps closed. But you would hope if United obviously get Sabitzer over the line, if we could get one more in, it would be brilliant. Just to give us that bit of depth. You know, it would mean United losing 3 games and Chelsea basically winning everything until the end of the season, which I don't think they will. The one thing I would say about Chelsea at the moment is, okay, they're making a lot of signings and, you know, a lot of them are young players that they could have for a long time. But it's very hard it's very hard to gel together as a team when there's so many new players coming in. And we've seen that with Nottingham Forest at the first half of the season. Now, Nottingham Forest have gone on a decent run and, you know, they're not doing too bad at the moment. But for the first maybe 10 games or so, up until the World Cup nearly, they were not, I won't say disarray, but they were just so thrown together and they didn't look like they had any fluidity, camaraderie, like they didn't even know each other. They're all trying to learn a new way of playing that the manager wants them to play and things like that. So I can envisage that happening with Chelsea as well. You know, Graham Potter, by the looks of it, has absolutely no say in the players that Chelsea are signing, and he's, you know, the owner's going bosh, 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 bosh. There you go, deal with it. You know, make a winning team out of it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It really is. Let's see. Cotton says this is one of the craziest January transfer windows I've ever seen. Chris says free McMuffin. Let's see. Chief says, I'm just glad of the progress at the moment. Erik ten Hag taking action. I wish him all the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, we said this early on, you know, for anyone who's been watching for a long time, that when Ten Hag got the job, I said it quite a lot, that not only is he coming in to rebuild Manchester United, you know, and in terms of signing players as well, and, you know, signing the players that he wants to sign, I reckon one of the major aspects of his role and the fact that he was given the job was to improve players that are currently there, you know, because you go back to what Ralph Rangnick said last season, and it was, you know, Man United need a minimum of 10 players, you know, so and that wasn't going to be doable in one transfer window. We knew that, so there was a big turnaround, and he needed to get more out of the players that were currently there. And let's look at it. David De Gea has improved. Wan-Bissaka has improved. Delort has improved. Luke Shaw has improved. Fred has improved. Rashford, Jesus Christ, has improved. Even Martial, in the short little cameos he's played, has improved. So Erik ten Hag is doing a good job, and I'm happy with it. I really am. But yeah, takes a while for players to come together, says Chris. Garnacho and Rashford clear of Carrasco, says Cottle. Niall says Williams going on loan to Fulham. Yeah, it looks like Williams potentially could be the one of a number of players to leave him, and Alanga potentially. But yeah, so I mean, it's I don't envisage a lot of outgoings, to be quite honest with you. Breaking news. I don't know how breaking it is, but Sabitzer has landed in Manchester, according to reports. So he has landed. The big man has landed. And look, I mean, you know, unless something really, really weird happens and something goes wrong, then it looks like United are going to get their man. But yeah, I mean, you know, reports as we mentioned previously, you know, United were looking at him in the summer as well, so it's not a kind of a snatch and grab more than anything. But yeah, let's see. Any news on our says Mark? Not as we speak. The last we seen in relation to that was that. Let me just get it up here. Where did I see it? So there's so many things coming in here at the moment. Let's see. It looks like Tottenham are going to get Pedro Porro as well. That's been reported by Di Marzio. Let's see. So Manchester United are in the process. Let me just put this up on the screen as well, guys. Anybody watching on TikTok, we're live on YouTube as well. I'm putting a lot of the breaking news up on the screen as well. So if you do want to go over and check it out, link is on the homepage, or just search United Community Channel on YouTube. But anybody watching on YouTube, you can see I have it up on the screen at the moment. Manchester United are in the process of sorting Sabitzer's work permit and finalising the paperwork as they attempt to complete the straightforward loan deal before the deadline, and that's coming from David Ornstein. So yeah, look, it's moving quickly. In relation to, let me have a look here, in relation to I mean, of all of the players to be linked, for us to be linked with at, you know, in the last day of the transfer window, one that I can't bloody pronounce. Aurar. I'm just going to say Aurar. Yeah, Aurar. Yeah, so there's no updates in relation to him in the last maybe hour or so. Reports have suggested that he has been offered to Manchester United, but nothing as of yet. Let's see what people are saying on TikTok here. We'll scroll back a bit. Make sure you hit the follow button too, guys, if you're new to the channel. Daily Manchester United content. All of the watch-alongs were live tomorrow night for United and Forest in the second leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. United going into it with a 3-0 lead, so you'd be expecting some changes, a bit of rotation, maybe some of the younger players, to see what might happen. So let me have a check here. Sky Sports News. Deadline Day live. So yeah. So in relation to Enzo Fernandez, it does look like it's moving closer. He's undergoing Chelsea medical. He's doing that in Portugal. And it's been reported that, a report here of what's holding up the deal. Chelsea and Benfica still can't agree payment structure for Fernandes, and a deal expected to be worth £105 million, the price of the midfielder's release clause. Sources has told Sky Sports News that Chelsea want to pay 6 instalments over 5 years, while Benfica want 3 payments in 2 years. Chelsea's reply was that to pay in 2 calendar years, they want to pay less of a fee up front. Benfica have so far not answered to this offer, which was received at 6:15. So, nearly 2 hours ago. Now, you can do the medical. Absolutely, you can do the medical without having a deal in place. So Chelsea can go over and get the medical done and make sure everything is rubber stamped. And once the agreement once they come to an agreement, then bosh, it's done. So yeah, that's the update on that so far. In relation to any updates for other teams, Cedric to Fulham, not done yet. In relation to that, let's see what else have we got here. Anything else? We mentioned Keylor Navas. Hibs, no one cares about them. Thorgan Hazard is moving from Borussia Dortmund to PSV on loan. So he goes over to Ruud van Nistelrooy. Now, any other Chelsea fans that's watching at the moment, in relation to Ziyech, there has been reports of him moving to PSG. He does want to move before deadline day, and PSG and Chelsea are on the verge of unlocking Hakim Ziyech deal. Details being discussed in order to get it signed. Ziyech received other proposals, but he told Chelsea he wants PSG. So again, like we were mentioning in relation to Chelsea, because they're signing so many players, looks like Jorginho is going to go to Arsenal. Now we're talking about Ziyech going to PSG. You know, these are all loan deals, but they're going to have to sell players. They're going to have to sell players to come in under financial fair play. Now, I know, you know, we've seen the likes of the Enzo Fernandez deal, for example. They want to string out the payments over 6 years so they will stay within financial fair play. And you're playing a very dicey game at that, because there's only a certain amount of times you can do that currently with transfers. Because if you do that with 3 or 4 transfers and you say, right, look, we'll give you 20 million this year, 20 million next year, and you do that with, say, 6 players, 5 players, that's 100 million you owe every summer before you try and sign a new player that summer. So it can come back to bite you in the arse as well. But it's I just don't know. I'd like to hear from some Chelsea fans, if they are in the chat, in relation to are they happy with the amount of money they're spending, the amount of signings they're getting in, or are they worried about it? Because look, it's great to get a lot of signings in, but I mean, I think they got 12 players in this transfer window. To get 12 players in January is just unheard of. It really is just unheard of. Let's see. Alcana is in from Kenya. Thanks for joining. You're more than welcome. Liam says, get rid of the Deadwood and sign heaps. Got way too many injuries. That's what has us intent at the moment. There we go. So there's Liam, Chelsea fan. Yeah, so and he says, I'm happy with all our signings, but just got to get rid of Deadwood and get the injured back. Now, the one thing I will say about that, Liam, and coming from a Manchester United fan, and any other Man United fans in the chat will tell you, getting rid of Deadwood is not fucking easy. Especially when you're talking about players leaving a club like Man United or like Chelsea, where they're probably on premium wages. You're looking at it, obviously Ziyech and Jorginho. Jorginho's over 30, so Arsenal have basically got a bargain, I would say, there for 12 million. But getting players off of your, not say out of the club in relation to a transfer fee, but getting players out of your club is very hard when they're on really good money. And as a United fan, we know all too well about that. Phil fucking Jones is still getting 100,000 a week off Manchester United, and the fucker has been injured for the last 17 years, and we just can't shift him off the books, because he's going, well, look, if I leave Manchester United, who's going to sign me being injured? And they're probably going to get 20 grand a week. Fuck it, I'll just run down my contract and continue to get 100 grand. So I totally understand where you're coming from, Liam, but it's, clearing out Deadwood, it's harder than it sounds. Now, let's have a look at Sabitzer, because a lot of people are asking me what I think of him. And look, I'm happy. I'm happy with him, and I go back to what I've said an awful lot in relation to transfers and what players come into Manchester United. If Erik ten Hag wants a player, I'm happy, and I'm behind him, because he's got it right so far. He really has, so I'm all for it. I really am. Let's have a look at Sabitzer here. So if we look at, and I'll get this up onto the screen now for you if I can. There we go. So let's have a look here. Again, anybody watching on TikTok, guys, putting a lot of details and information up on the screen over on YouTube or live over there as well. If you want the full experience, check it out. Link is on my homepage, or just search United Community Channel on YouTube or live over there as well. Hit the subscribe button, get into the chat. Let me know what you think. Let me pull up details here. So, look, when we're talking about Sabitzer here, Bundesliga, 15 appearances this season, 1 goal, 1 assist. Champions League, 6 appearances, 3 appearances then in cup competitions. If we look at all seasons, excuse me, I have the hiccups. We're looking at, let's go down to the total here. 490 games, 123 goals, 81 assists. It's not bad, really isn't. If we're talking about, let's talk about competitions here. Bundesliga. We can show you that. And because that's obviously where the majority of his games are going to come from. Now, a lot of them goals you could potentially have scored at underage level and things like that. So, just waiting for it to load. So, there we go. Since 2016-2017, he's played a total of 185 league games. And he scored 34 goals and has 29 assists. Now, that's not bad. That's really not bad. And we're talking about an Austrian, central midfielder. And, for a central midfielder, they're pretty good numbers. Now, look, we all know, the Bundesliga is not to the same standard as the Premier League is. Obviously, Premier League is the best competition in the world, you would have to say. But for a player to be putting up them kind of numbers, obviously playing with Red Bull, then obviously Bayern Munich the last 2 seasons. He only scored 1 goal last season. Done a lot of his scoring with Red Bull, 8, 9, 4, 3, 8. Sorry, I'm after clicking on that by mistake. But yeah, look, I'm happy with him. He's a big chap. Can get around the pitch. What age is he? He's 28, so he's in his prime. And he can score a goal. He can set up play. He's, as a big guy, obviously it's no harm to have that in your team. I think for a long time Manchester United were relatively small, but you look at it there now, your Varans, your Weghorst, your Scott McTominay's, now Sabitzer, Rashford is tall. United, Casemiro, is a unit as well. So United are adding not only quality in relation to ball work and being on the ball, but they're adding a bit of steel. They really are. They're adding a bit of steel, I have to say, which is interesting to see. So yeah, let's see. Let me know what you think about it, guys. Let me know in the chat there. Sergeant Sam is over and he said, "This is far better than TikTok." You're welcome to YouTube, Sam. Thanks for coming over. Footy is in as well. Good to see you. Twig says Doherty to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, so for any Irish people in the chat, our Matt Doherty has basically, has it been fully agreed yet? I don't think it has, but he's going to be moving from Spurs to Atletico Madrid. Now, the one thing I would say about that is, from an Irish standpoint, it's probably good news. Simeone plays a very defensive type of football, and the majority of defenders who go and play with Atletico Madrid end up being pretty decent defenders. Even look at Trippier, for example. He went over to Atletico Madrid, came back, a far better defender than he was before he went over. Always very good at going forward. But, I think I think it's a good thing for Matt Doherty. Any Spurs fans in the chat, let me know what you think, because I think I mean, the one thing I would say is I think Jed Spence has also left Spurs. What way does that leave you at right full? You know, and like your defence is not overly strong at the moment as we speak. So if there is any Spurs fans in the chat, let me know. Truth G says Ronaldo pass, Erik ten Hag delivering. United look like a team now. Can we talk Mason Greenwood return? No, we can't. Because he will not play for Manchester United on at minimum until that court case is over. So I don't want to get dragged into a conversation and end up saying something that could get me in trouble. You know what I mean? Because it's a very sensitive matter. You know, if he's guilty, he's guilty. If he's innocent, he's innocent. But he will not play for Manchester United. I would be surprised if he ever plays for United again. Regardless of whether he is guilty or innocent, because United are very PR orientated and they're very, you know, their image means a lot, and you know the global standing that they have, and I just think they'll cut ties. I really do. But yeah, that's just what I think. I could be completely wrong. If he's innocent and he comes back and plays and can get back to where he left off, and you know, build on the potential that he has, then by God we will have a good player. But I just can't see it happening. I really can't. You a Kildare fellas? No, I'm from Kilkenny. Stan says, to be fair, even if he got not guilty, he won't be in the right headspace to play. There you go. That's sad, says True, because I think Erik ten Hag can make him the next superstar for sure. Look, we've got a superstar in Garnacho, so let's concentrate on him. And if Greenwood comes back, then it's a bonus. If he doesn't, we concentrate on what we have. You know. Now, let's get some comments right out on YouTube here. Oshin is in. Good to see you, pal. Jorginho to Arsenal. Yeah, it's confirmed. So anyone... Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So Jorginho to Arsenal is confirmed. He has signed from Chelsea for 12 million. So, yeah, that's been confirmed. Chris says, everyone forgets Abramovich left Chelsea with no debt. Lost Poet says, ain't it great that Ten Hag has the final say? All these players wanting to come. If that was Ole, God knows who we would get. Sabitzer, very versatile, can play anywhere in the middle. Very smart signing, says the Lost Poet. I agree. I really do. And I agree with everything you said there. And it's great to see that the manager is getting the final say on everything he wants, you know. And he hasn't put a foot wrong yet. He really hasn't. Let's see. Chris says, very good player, box to box, can play CDM, can defend much better than Eriksen. You get vision of Xhaka as well. Sargent, oh yeah, we read that one as well. Let's see. Everyone is tall next to Jack. That is certainly true, Chris. Oshin says, what does Keylor Navas going to Nottingham Forest do for Henderson? Well, look, that's probably... I mean, what is Keylor Navas? How old is he? Let's have a look. He is... What age is he? Born in 1986. Yeah, so he's 30... Well, he's 35, 36? I don't know. Is it... Are they getting him in now as a backup to maybe... Who's the other guy that's there? Hennessy, is it? Or look, that's only if Dean Henderson doesn't stay there after his loan. He ain't fucking coming back to Man United anyway, that's for sure. Well, I'd be very surprised if he was. But anyway. But yeah. Let's see. Henderson's injury worse than thought, says Chris. Ben says Oshin hopefully leaves him rotting on the bench. Only 12 million bargain, says Twigs. Yeah, I think it is a bargain for Jorginho. I really do. I'm surprised United didn't go for him. But we're after getting a younger player, probably that's faster, more physical. So that's obviously what Ten Hag was looking for. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oshin says, drive his value through the floor, though, if we need him, if we need to move him on. Dawit says, what about Isco? So Isco has been offered to Manchester United today, and by the looks of it, United haven't taken them up on that offer. So it's United have been offered a number of players today, but haven't really made a move on him, to be quite honest with you. Let's see. Oh, by the way, just to keep you updated as well, guys. Let me just double check it here, because I think Newcastle are after scoring. Newcastle are 1-0 up on Southampton. Longstaff is after scoring, so they're now 2-0 up on aggregate. So, it's a long way back for Southampton now in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. So it does look now like it's going to be a Newcastle Manchester United final, obviously barring two major upsets. But I think it's a long way back for Southampton now, especially at St James's Park. They're 2 goals down. So yeah, interesting that. Let's see, any other updates here? Let's have a gander. So according to James Ducker in the Telegraph, Manchester United were offered, actually I'll put it up on the screen for anybody on YouTube as well, guys. Anybody on TikTok, we're putting a lot of the information up on the screen over on YouTube as well. Link is in the homepage if you want to check it out. Go check it out. Start smashing that like button for us as well, guys. If you have a second, tap the screen a few times. Gets more people into the chat. Let's get it up to maybe 10,000. We're nearly at 4,000 there now. Tap the screen a few times for me. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the follow button. Daily Manchester United content. All of the watch-alongs throughout the season as well. So make sure you're not missing out. Hit the follow button. And as well, anybody watching on YouTube, take a second. Hit the thumbs up button for me. As you know, it helps the channel out an awful lot. So let's see, where were we? Yeah, so as you can see on the screen over on YouTube, Manchester United were offered a series of other players, but Marcel Sabitzer will be the only deadline day signing, according to James Ducker in the Telegraph. Now, James Ducker is, he's basically a Tier 1 journalist, so he doesn't get an awful lot wrong. So not that you could take that as gospel, but by the looks of it, Sabitzer is going to be the only signing of the transfer window. So it's going to be interesting. Let me see, can I just do a little tweak here for a second? Give me 1 sec. And I'm going to try and narrow some of this down so I can make it bigger for you to see. Yeah, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Here we go. Alright. Right, let's do a roundup. Any updates as we speak? Sabitzer's plane landing in Manchester. Videos of it up there now as well. Nothing updating since that. Hector Bellerin joins Sporting Lisbon on a permanent deal from Barcelona, which is interesting. Let's see, what else have we got here? Yeah, Jorginho, that's done. Let's see what Sky Sports News are saying here as well. So, Sky Sports News have put up a number of deals that still need to be done, that are being worked on at the moment. I'll give you a rundown through them. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea still has to be done. Sabitzer to United. Porro to Tottenham. Matt Doherty to Atletico Madrid. Soares to Fulham. Ziyech to PSG. Any other ones there? Felipe to Nottingham Forest. Jonjo Shelvey to Forest. Keylor Navas to Forest. Sulemana to Southampton. Any other ones there? No, that's about it. But yeah, I mean, still a lot of deals left to be done. Felipe passes Forest Medical. So Felipe has passed his medical at Nottingham Forest and is now trying to finalise personal terms before a potential move from Atletico Madrid. So interesting there as well. Let me see. Anything else? That's all we have so far. Let's see what people are saying in the chat here. Shoka says, hello lad, I think Sabitzer is a great deal. Yes, a panic signing, but he can play the Eriksen role. He can press the ball and dribble really well. Ten Hag wanted him. What's your thought? Yeah, I agree with everything you've said there. I really do. We've been talking about it a few times. Adam Tomaldino says, we're just going to win everything. We really are, aren't we? Maybe not this season, but give it 4 or 5 years maybe. But yeah, I want to know, right, now that, right, obviously we know there may still be more signings for United before the end of the window. It's looking unlikely. But I want a yes or a no in the chat. Given what Manchester United have signed and given the depth of the squad, if this is the squad now for the remainder of the season, we don't sign any more players, do United make top 4? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. And it can be United or opposition fans. So you let me know. I'm going to take a drink for a second. So top 4, yes or no, guys? Let me know in the chat. I like what I'm seeing. I won't lie. I like what I'm seeing. Majority of people are positive and they're saying, yeah, United will make top 4. That's on TikTok. Majority of people are saying top 4. Definitely top 4. And just an update as well, guys. Newcastle have gone 2-0 up. So that game is pretty much done and dusted. Newcastle are 3-0 up on aggregate. United go into tomorrow's game 3-0 up on aggregate, so that looks done and dusted. So yeah, majority of people are saying yes. Kenny says no. Sam says yes. Oshin says yes, but only just. Right, let me ask you this then. We'll get into some quick fire. Let me know in order your top 4. First, second, third, fourth. Who's going to win the league? Who's going to come second? Who's going to come third? And who's going to come fourth? Let me know in the chat, because I'd like to see what everyone is thinking. Not just in relation to top 4, but in relation to who's winning the league, who potentially misses out on top 4, all that kind of good stuff. While you're typing that, in relation to top 4 myself, I still think it's going to be difficult. I do think it's going to be difficult. If we look at now, and again, from anyone who's been watching, the content for as long as you've been watching it for, I tend to be generally positive when it comes to Manchester United and try and look at the positive side of everything. But being quite neutral, I think it's going to be difficult. I really do. I think it's not going to be easy. I do think we can get top 4. Can Newcastle hold their ground? Can Newcastle continue the good run they have going, and get a top 4 spot? That's the big question, in my opinion. Spurs are hot and cold. They're only 3 points behind us, but we do have a game in hand. Okay, and I mean, you look at Brighton, for example. Brighton are 8 points behind us, and they have a game in hand on us. They actually have 2 games in hand on Spurs. So if they win them 2 games, they could potentially go into 5th. And they're a danger. I think they are. So that's going to be an interesting one. How well will Liverpool and Chelsea do in the second half of the season? Whatever about Liverpool, they haven't made any signings. Chelsea have signed fucking half the world. Can they gel together quickly and put a run on for top 4? Like I said, they're only 10 points off. 10 points off a top 4. So there has been bigger gaps closed, you'd have to say. But I do think we'll get top 4 eventually. Let's see what people are saying in relation to who they think top 4 will be. We'll go down through some of them here. Just want to scroll back so I don't miss any. Right, hopefully we're up there. Tim says Arsenal, City, United and Newcastle. Lee says City, Arsenal, Spurs and United. Spurs, there we go. Let's see. Paddy says City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle. Scottish lad says City, Arsenal, Liverpool, United. Jesus, you have Liverpool coming out of nowhere in the second half of the season. Interesting. Jason thinks United are going to win the league. United, Arsenal, City and Newcastle. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Tommy says United, Arsenal, City, Newcastle. Another person thinks United are winning the league. Leonardo says Arsenal, City, Newcastle, United. So basically the way it is at the moment, no changes there. Trevlon says Man City, then Man U, Arsenal and then Newcastle. Okay, so Arsenal to have a drop off there. Jonathan says Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle. City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle, says Paddy. City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle seems to be the major one. Dave says that. Liverpool FC says Arsenal, City, Man U, Newcastle. Yeah, so a lot of people sticking with what's already going on. Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea, says Phil. Sorry, I'm reading that the wrong way around. Alessandro, I thought you said Newcastle were going to win the league. Newcastle 4th, United 3rd, City 2nd and Arsenal 1st. Right, what do I think? Let's see what people on YouTube are saying. Chris is saying Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle. Ben, Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle. Who else? Any other ones there? David says Arsenal, United, City and Newcastle. Okay, United finished 2nd. I like it. I like it, David. I like it. Here's what I think. I think it's going to be City. I still think City are going to win the league. City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle. No, sorry. I'm going to change that. I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. I'm going to go City, Arsenal, United, and Chelsea. I think Chelsea might come good. I think Chelsea could come good. If not Chelsea, then it depends what Newcastle can do. Can Newcastle get top 4? It'd be a major achievement if Newcastle could get top 4. Basically, the first season having new owners. It really would. It'd be absolutely phenomenal from a Newcastle standpoint. Will it happen? That remains to be seen. Let's have a look. So, some breaking news. Well, some news updates. Again, anybody watching on TikTok, we're putting a lot of the snippets up on the screen on YouTube. If you want the full experience, link is on the homepage. Go over and check us out on YouTube. United Community Channel. Putting a lot of the news reports up on the screen here as well. So as you can see on the screen, guys, Sabitzer has arrived at Carrington, according to Sky Sports News. So, yeah. The deal is getting closer and closer. Lee says, not an outrageous shout to think Chelsea come good. It's only a matter of time. Let's see. Yeah, look, I think Chelsea can come good. Whether they will or not is another question. It depends how quickly they can gel. That new squad can gel together, basically. If they can gel together quite quickly, they have a good opportunity to do it. I really do think so. Chelsea will make a run, but they have some problems to be addressed, says Chris. And Ludo King says, Arsenal should sign Donald J. Trump. They don't have proper leaders in that team. Trump is a good leader and can build a good wall in that Arsenal defence. Good man, Ludo, boy. Fair play to you. Faden says, Chelsea is building an empire. Yeah. All empires crumble, though. What's happening at Carrington now, says Measy. So, yeah, Sabitzer has arrived at Carrington, just going through probably formalities, I'd say. Has a medical been done? Someone can tell me that in the chat, actually. Has he actually done a medical yet? I'm not 100% sure if he has. If he's done a medical yet, or is that what he's at Carrington to do? Or he's obviously just there to sign some forms, some, dot the I's, cross the T's, all that kind of stuff. Are you Robbie Keane? I'm not. I wish I was. I wish I had his money. Let's see. Has Chelsea confirmed Enzo? No, not yet. No, not as of yet. It's still being worked on. Truth says, I don't think Chelsea will make top 4 with current manager. Maybe with a new one. Now, let me throw this out to you. If there is any Chelsea fans in the chat, because there's been a lot of talk about potentially, Potter getting the sack and this and that and the other. Rewind the clock back a year or two ago, and you had every Arsenal player in the world calling for Arteta to be sacked. He was given time, won an FA Cup, backed him in the transfer market, and now look where he is. Not that I have a feeling, but I think, I do. I think Graham Potter is a good enough manager that he could go on and do something like that. He really could, if he's given the time and the resources to do it, so, I don't know. I think he should be given time. Not that I fucking want Chelsea to do well or anything. Transfer window. But there are rumours around that there's one or two other maybe players that United are looking at potentially for loan deals and things like that. Christopher, thanks for the gifts, man. Really appreciate it. Legend. Appreciate all the gifts, guys. I think the prayer for United is Harry Kane, says Levy. I mean, the summer transfer window is going to be really interesting for United. It really is. Let's see. How do you feel about Sabitzer? Yeah, I'm happy with him. Good player. Dynamic. Can play a number of different roles. I'm happy with it. Bright says, what's wrong with Liverpool? Who cares? Nah, look, I mean, Liverpool are dirt at the moment, aren't they? And they've only got themselves to blame. They didn't strengthen when they were strong. They bought wrong. They bought aging players where they should have bought young. It's always the key to it, and, Ferguson always said it with United, that, you buy when you're strong. Constantly refreshing the team all the time. Refresh. New competition, keeping players on their toes. Young, hungry players want to make a name for themselves. That's what it's all about. And Liverpool haven't done that. They haven't. They've done it in one or two areas. Maybe in the forward line. They lost Mane, got in Jota, Diaz, that Andy Carroll, or not Andy Carroll, sorry, Darwin Núñez, and now some United reject from PSV that's doing fuck all. So, yeah, look, I mean, it's clear to see that midfield is the issue for them, but there's going to need to be a big rebuild there. But they're in the same boat as United in relation to, the club being up for sale, potential new owners coming in. Depends what owners they get. Are they going to invest? I mean, you look at it, I'd say the Liverpool owners, because obviously Liverpool was up for sale before Manchester United was, by about a month, I think. And I'd say the Liverpool owners were just going, ye absolute shower of such and such. Because now Southampton have pulled a goal back, 3-1 on aggregate, just to let you know, in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. But yeah, I'd say the Liverpool owners were going, Jesus Christ, any potential owner now that we were, that we could have potentially had is now going to be, looking at Manchester United as well. And any owner that can afford Liverpool can more than likely afford Manchester United. Manchester United would be more expensive, because it's the bigger club, obviously. But you would be thinking, okay, if both owners of Manchester United and owners of Liverpool are going to sell to the highest bidder, then United are going to get the bidder with more money. And then Liverpool are going to have the second best option. Now, that may not be the case when it comes to the everyday running of the club. Manchester United may get an owner who's terrible, who doesn't know what he's doing. And Liverpool might get a brilliant owner. But that remains to be seen. But I can't see Liverpool being sold before United is being sold, because any person in their right mind that wants to buy Liverpool is going to want to buy Manchester United as well, and United is going to be sold first, basically. City having some team issues, sending Cancelo away, says Chris. Yeah, I mean, it was a very strange one. There's obviously something gone on there between himself and Guardiola, and cross the boss. End of story. I mean, Man City have had some bad luck, you would have to say, in relation to the left back area. They just can't seem to get a left back to stick around. Obviously, Cancelo is gone, Zinchenko is gone. They've had the issues with Mendy, obviously, being suspended and being up in court and all of that kind of stuff. They haven't had any luck at left back. Oshin says, I don't know, will Potter get them together in 6 months? Yeah, I agree, Oshin, absolutely. That's the blue sweatshirt talking, says Chris. Sky Sports News just showed Sabitzer car landing at Carrington. Chelsea now reminding me of even when Abramovich first came, buying everyone for the crack. Yeah, that's what it looks like, really, doesn't it? Financial fair play back then, though, that was the only thing. But yeah. Let's see. What club do you dislike the most, says Phil? There's 4. Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and Leeds. They're the 4 that I don't like the most. LDK, thanks for the gifts. Really appreciate it. Now, let's give you some updates here. Let's see what we're dealing with. So yeah, anyone watching on YouTube, I can put it up on the screen here. We've got some live footage of Sabitzer arriving at Carrington. Let me just put it. Yeah, anyone watching on TikTok, by the way, if you do want the full experience, we're live on YouTube. We're putting a lot of the updates up on the screen as well. So the link is on the homepage. If you want to move over to the YouTube channel, we're over there as well. Live footage of the driver bringing Sabitzer into Carrington 5 minutes after landing at Manchester Airport. You love it. You gotta love it. The Stig bringing Sabitzer into Carrington like a bullet. But yeah, that's the update so far. No, just to give you the real update. He has been pictured. He has been pictured arriving at Carrington, which is good to see. So he has arrived. What place do you think United will finish at the end of the season? I think third. I think third will be, yeah. Jack says, best spot to head out in Kilkenny. Depends, Jack, what kind of night out you want. Is it a nightclub? Is it an old man's bar? Is it a cocktail bar? Is it a whiskey bar? Let me know. I'll tell you, because I worked in an awful lot of them, so down through the years. So let me know. Jock is in. Good to see you, pal. Any updates on our R? So no updates. It's looking like Sabitzer is going to be the only signing. It looks like now. We'll see. We'll have to see. D Malone says, "What's the score? You skipped my comment. There's nearly 200 people watching. I can't read them all. Put it in again, and if I can get to it, I will." If we're talking a proper night out, says Jack, left bank is pretty good. Left bank is the main area, is the main bar in Kilkenny. A place to go for a few drinks before that, there's a place called the Front Room. It's really good. It has a big, massive kind of outside area in as well. It's all covered over. She sleep? Mm-hmm. Lovely. Right, cool. But yeah, there's loads of places. Left bank. Tynan's on the Bridge is a deadly spot for a pint of Guinness. Owlad's Pub. You have the Dillon, which is a whiskey bar, which is really nice. You have, I don't know what age you are, but if you're kind of early 20s, Brogan's is a late bar as well. You could go there. So yeah, Lenahan's is decent as well. So look, you won't have any shortage of places to go in Kilkenny. So some updates on Anthony Alanga, guys. It has been reported that he is set to stay at Manchester United. Crystal Palace did have their eye on him, but it looks like he's going to stay where he is. Who is that guy? Chief football reporter from the Daily Mail, Sammy Mokbel. So reports are suggesting that Anthony Alanga is set to stay, which I think is good news. I do think it's good news. The less we sell, the better, in my opinion. I think the less we sell, the more our squad is bulked, and the better it is, you know. So there's, just for anyone on YouTube, guys, there's an advertisement coming up. So skip it. Not everyone gets them, but skip it if it comes up for you. But yeah, as well, guys, anybody watching on TikTok, like I said, please do smash the like button for me. Let's get it up to 10,000 likes there. We're at 6,500 as we speak. Gets more people into the chat. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit the follow button. Daily Manchester United content, all of the watch-alongs throughout the season. Of course, we're doing the watch-along tomorrow night for the Nottingham Forest game as well. So if you're new to the channel, please do hit the follow button. We're closing in on 25,000 followers, which is great. And like I said, if you do want the full experience, we're live over on YouTube at the moment as well. But we're going to be here, guys, until 11 o'clock. So stick with us. Let's give you some updates from around the clubs and see what's going on. Updates. Da, 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 da. Spurs midfielder Harvey White has joined Derby County on loan till the end of the season. Anything else? Free agent Andre Ayew offered to Everton and Forest. Where did he come from? He's after coming from Al Sadd. So yeah, he's been offered to Everton and Forest. No takers as of now. Sabitzer arrives at Manchester United training ground ahead of a deadline day move to Manchester United. Sky Germany report that the deal is expected to include... Oh, whisht! Here's an update. So, contrary to what Fabrizio Romano said, Sky Germany report that the deal is expected to include an option to buy at the end of the loan, which is good. It really is good. We were talking about that only about maybe a half an hour ago, that Fabrizio Romano was suggesting that the loan didn't have an option to buy in it, but now Sky Germany are reporting that it does. Look, I mean, an option to buy is good. An obligation to buy is bad. That means you have to buy him at the end of the season. So, an option to buy is quite good. It'll be interesting to see how much that option is for. But, I mean, having that option to buy, I think, is always a positive thing, because if he comes to Manchester United and absolutely tears it up for the next 6 months, why wouldn't you want to sign him, you know? Samuel says, why are we getting loans? Because we overspent in the summer. We overspent on Anthony, overspent on Casemiro, overspent on Martinez. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically it. So, yeah, it's going to be loan signings only. But look, not the end of the world. Like we said, Ten Hag is building something good, and it looks like, the players are buying into what he's doing. It looks like we're going in the right direction at long last. Mohammed, thanks for the gift. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Do you get over to Old Trafford? I do. I was there on Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday night? No, sorry. What am I talking about? I was there on Friday, Saturday. I went Friday night. I brought the wife and went to the game on Saturday and flew home Sunday. I've got a cup season ticket, so I'll go to a few of the cup games. I'm going to Barcelona. I'm going to the Barcelona game on the Thursday. And I just want to double check this, actually, by the way. Because, and you can let me know, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're playing Thursday the 23rd, and I think the Carabao Cup final is the 26th. Yeah, it is. So, as a cup season ticket holder, I will get priority access, I'm pretty sure, to the Carabao Cup final if we get there, which we should. So I could potentially not be able to do watch-alongs for both of them games. And to be honest with you, they're two massive games anyway, so you don't want to be watching me. But I could potentially be flying to Manchester, going to the Barcelona game, then the next day flying to London and going to the Carabao Cup final. What a few days that'd be, wouldn't it? So, let's hope so. Let's hope I can get tickets to... I have tickets to the Barcelona game already, but if I can get tickets to the Carabao Cup final as well, that'd be brilliant. Where do you stay in Manchester, says Timmy? I stay in the Maldron Hotel, just off Oxford Road. They do some good deals in there. That's where we always stay. Walrack says, where are you seeing that news about Sabitzer having an option to buy? It's on, if you go on to skysportsnews.com or skysports.com, they've got the live feed, and one of the live feeds there is saying that. Yeah, Sky Germany are reporting it. So if you go onto the live transfer news feed on skysports.com, scroll down, you'll see it. It's in yellow. But yeah. Jack says, heading to Barca as well. May float to the Old Irish for a cheeky Guinness. Hit up Mulligan's for a Guinness if you're in Manchester. They're the nicest Guinness in Manchester. They're just unbelievable. It's like drinking them in your local in Ireland. They're just gorgeous. Although in saying that, I mean, I was over at the Charlton game a couple of weeks ago and was drinking Guinness in 4 or 5 different places, and I didn't have a bad one all day. So happy days. Happy days. Need ticket for Southampton if anyone here knows of one going. Let's see what other people are saying here. Let's see what people on YouTube are saying. Alanga In says, Twigs, Deitch to Everton is a dream come true. Shane says, what's your score prediction for tomorrow? I don't really know yet, Shane. I'll give you an update on that when maybe we see the team news. You know, depends what kind of team he puts out. He could put out a team full of youngsters. You just don't know. Did you see Vout going demon mode, says Twigs? Absolutely. Absolutely. Cottle says, how long did it take to get the cup season tickets? So I'm on a waiting list, Cottle, for a full season ticket for about 4 or 5 years now. Minimum. Yeah, I think it's 4 years minimum. And I got an email last May. I think you have to be an official member. So if you're an official club member, I pay I think is a £40 a year to be an official Manchester United member, and you get you get some merchandise and stuff like that, but that bumps you up the list to become a season ticket holder. So this is the first year that they've done cup season tickets. So I got an email about it, and myself and a mate of mine, he's an official member as well. What you can do is you can go on to your profile on Manchester United's page, and you can link your account to, say, a friend's account. And if you're going on to get season tickets, then you'll get them right beside each other. So, yeah, that's how we got them. So we basically got them straight away, which is good. Niall says, that's not great. Barca on a Thursday and final on a Sunday. Well, it's not great in terms of, hopefully no injuries and, players being worn out and things like that. Like, if you're looking at it, we're down to play Brentford in the Premier League that day anyway, on the Sunday. So we would have had a game on that Sunday regardless. Now, if we do get to the Carabao Cup final, obviously that Brentford game will be rearranged. But, United's next game after that is, I think there's a round of FA Cup games. Yeah, I mean, we're playing the following Wednesday. So we're going to play 3 games in 6 days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 7 days. So we're going to play 3 games in 7 days. We're going to play Barcelona, hopefully in the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, and then we're going to have West Ham at home the following Wednesday. So we knew this was going to happen, and I know what you're saying when you're saying that's not a good thing, but it's a great thing because it means we're in competitions, and I know what you mean in relation to it's not a good thing, but could you imagine how great it would be if we won all 3 of them games? If we beat Barcelona to get through Europa, if we win the Carabao Cup final, and then we go on and get to the next round of the FA Cup, all within the space of a week, we'll be on the crest of a wave. So we will. But yeah. Let's see. Twigs is going to Manchester in the summer. I'll be in Manchester for next season, says Chris. Hawaii in the summer. What qualifies as a bad Guinness? Oh, you'll know the next morning, Chris. You will know the next morning if you've had a bad Guinness. Let's just say there'll be dark water falling out of the bottom of you. So you'll know. Best January signing, asks Shane. For Manchester United, it has to be either Vidic, maybe. Let me know in the chat. So any United fans in the chat, best January signing, I think it could be Vidic. Is Mulligan's far from the Maldron? I'm going. It's about a 15-minute walk, lad. But yeah, it's about a 15-minute walk. Berbatov, was he a January signing? I still don't think he was a better signing than Vidic. Dale is in. Good to see you, pal. Jock says, thoughts on the new guy, Jack? Have you seen much of him? I haven't seen much of him, Jock, but obviously when we're linked to players like this and you go and do your, you have a look on YouTube for him and stuff like that, and you look at his stats and you look at reports on him, and by all accounts he looks like a very good player. Can play anywhere in the middle, can carry the ball, big, strong, physical, is a very good passer of the ball, has a goal, has an assist in him, so has a bit of everything. But yeah, a lot of people saying Berbatov. Andy Cole says Tim. Andy Cole came in January, did he? Forgot about that. Patrice Evra, yeah, Evra came in the same transfer window as Vidic, didn't he? Right, let's give you some updates. Let's see, is there anything going on here? Loving the chat tonight, guys, as well. Keep the comments and the messages coming in. Smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already. Let's see, what are we at? 8,000 likes. Let's get that up to minimum 10,000 there. Anyone on TikTok, if you have a second, tap the screen a few times for me. Helps the channel out, gets more people into the chat as well. And hit the follow button if you're new to the channel as well. We're closing in on 25,000 followers. So yeah. Let me see. Let me see. Now, so some potential outgoings from Manchester United. And this is coming from Mike McGrath, who's a football reporter from the Daily Mail. And he's suggesting that Stoke are trying for a deal to sign Axel Tuanzebe from Manchester United. Again, anyone on TikTok, guys, we're putting a lot of this information up on the screen over on YouTube. If you want to check it out, link is on the homepage there. Go over and check out the full experience. So yeah, according to the Daily Mail, Stoke are trying to sign Axel Tuanzebe from Manchester United. And you know what? I hope we can reach a deal, because I think he deserves to play. He deserves to go. He deserves a bit of first team football. He hasn't had an awful lot of luck, in fairness to him. So yeah, I think that's maybe one that United could potentially do before the end of the transfer window. So yeah, it's not all incoming. So they could see some potential outgoings. Let's have a look. Anything else? Again, yeah, there's more reports suggesting that Anthony Alanga is set to stay at Manchester United, which is good news. Happy days. Now, and on the wider front, let's see, is there any updates from any other teams? La 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 la. There's a report here from the Liverpool Echo saying that Liverpool have all their eggs in Jude Bellingham's basket. I don't know about that. Darren, thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate it, pal. As well, guys, anybody watching over on YouTube, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I was looking at my analytics today, and 70% of viewers on YouTube are not subscribed. So it'd be great if you do watch and you do enjoy the content to hit that subscribe button. It helps us out an awful lot. I'd much appreciate it. Is Greenwood coming back? Nope. Phil Jones needs to go, says Osman. Yeah, look, he's not going to go because he's injured. So he's just going to sit tight, run down his contract. You know, I'd be very, very surprised if he was to leave. Let's see. Barney is in as well. Good to see you, Barney. Now, and what's the score in the match? It's let me double check it here. It was 3-1 the last I checked. I think it's still half time. Oh no, sorry, it's 2-1 on the night. 3-1 on aggregate. So not over yet, but Southampton are going to need a goal as quickly as they can in the second half. Charlie McNeil getting game time, and Newport is fantastic, says Darren. It really is, Darren. I agree with you. Yeah, I'm delighted to see him go out and get some game time. Look, great talent that needs game time to improve. Really does. So yeah, it's good to see him go out. Hopefully he'll come back a better, stronger player and get some game time next year. I think he could be a player now that, you know, could potentially be on loan, you know, all of next year as well. But that remains to be seen. It really does. Right, guys. So, we've been going for... How long have we been going for? Jeez, we've been going for an hour and a half. I got to go to the bathroom. So, bear with me. I'll put you into this kind of be right back mode. Oh, where did that go? Oh no. I'll put you into this one. There you go. No, there we go. I'll just leave you there for a minute. Got to go to the bathroom, do all that kind of stuff. We're going to be on for another 2 hours. So give me 5 minutes and I'll be back to you. How do I fucking pause this joke? Let me see. Pause live. There we go. See you in 5, guys. Alright, we're back. Oh, so the headphones are in. We're listening to Sky Sports News here on the TV, so we can keep you up to date as we go. Ben says halftime potatoes, Jack. I've got one packet left in the multi-pack, Ben, and I have to keep them for tomorrow night. So yeah, no halftime potatoes tonight, I'm afraid. But yeah, keep smashing the like button for us, guys. Really helps out the channel a ton. Like I said, anybody watching on TikTok, we're up to 11,000 likes there. Let's try get it to maybe 20,000 before 11 o'clock. If you have a second, tap the screen a couple of times. Share the live if you think someone might like it as well. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the follow button, all of that good stuff. Really do appreciate it. Let's see what people are saying here. Why would Bellingham go to a mid-table team, says Ben. I don't know, Ben. I don't know. Wall is saying, straight loan deal with Sabitzer now, according to Slow Sports News. Yeah, so look, I don't know. There's conflicting reports on whether it's loan with an option to buy or just a straight loan. So look, let's look at the positives of it more than anything. It's a player we need. Breaking news for Crystal Palace. Finalising a deal for Arsenal midfielder Alanga on loan until the end of the season. So there we go. Interesting. What county are you from? Kilkenny. Owen says, not good enough from us. Out the cup. Out of cup, definitely going down now. Who's that? Let me... Owen, who is that? What's your team? It's not United, is it you're talking about? Man City done deals, please. Yeah, so I don't think Man City are doing an awful lot, to be quite honest with you. They've been very quiet. Obviously, the main transfer news in relation to Manchester City is the fact that Cancelo is gone. So I don't think they've actually signed anyone. Let's have a look here and see. January transfer signings so far. Let's have a look. See. We'll go down through it. Don't see anything from Man City, to be quite honest with you. Let's have a look. One, two. Perone they've signed from Vélez Sarsfield. Obviously a young player, you would think. And then Liam Delap has gone to Preston on loan. And then obviously then Cancelo. You know, so not an awful lot being done there by City, you would have to say. Bambi from Uganda. King Alvin, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, in relation to... I mean, the big news that everyone is kind of waiting on is Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. And, you know, is it done yet? There hasn't been any update in relation to... Look, supposedly the medical is done, and he's done it in Portugal. And the big stumbling block at the moment is the Benfica want 3 payments made, while Chelsea want to string it out over 6 payments, over 6 seasons, I think, which that's the stumbling block, you would have to say. So we're still waiting to hear any updates on it, which is interesting. Craig, thanks for the gifts, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see. If you can sign any player to United, who would it be? Well, look, I mean, any player to United, it would have to be... I mean, it would have to be a striker, you know. Now, obviously, we've got Weghorst in since, you know, in this transfer window. But obviously, it's a short-term fix. If we were to sign anybody now, I would like probably another midfielder on top of Sabitzer. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not overly disappointed with our squad going into the second half of the season. We've seen what we've done so far with what we've got, and you know, obviously we have had we do have a relatively thin squad, and we've seen how the mood instantly changed once Eriksen got injured. You know, once Eriksen got injured, the mood instantly changed, and all of a sudden United, bang, we need someone, you know. And what I said basically at the start of the live was, you know, the fact that we were able to move so quickly in relation to signing a player on the back of an injury, why didn't we just go out and get a couple of players on loan anyway? You know, it was pretty clear that we needed them. It was pretty clear that Ten Hag wanted them. But obviously, he didn't get what he wanted. Now, the board obviously have been put under pressure since Eriksen got injured to say, look, we're going for top 4. You know, you're going to have new owners coming in. You know, it's going to be a lot more attractive for new owners coming in with the potential of Champions League football next year, straight away in new owners' first year. So, that's the one thing that has kind of soured this transfer window for me. I'm happy enough with the squad we have. I'm delighted with the manager and what he's doing with us, but the fact that we only pulled the trigger on a couple of loan signings because of injuries annoyed me a little bit, you know. Oshin says, breaking news, here we go. Liverpool have reached an agreement with Borussia Dortmund regarding the purchase of Jude Bellingham. They've agreed it's never going to happen. I love it. I love it. Twig says, did you hear Chelsea fans want Zidane? Yeah, look, I mean, this is going to sound weird, okay, to say, right, given what Zidane has won. But I'm not overly convinced by him. He done an unreal job at Real Madrid and the Champions Leagues he won. Would he have done that at any other club? I don't think he would have. It's the fact that he's a Real Madrid legend. He's part of the foundations there at Real Madrid. He's a legend there. All of the players looked up to him. All of that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think it's... I don't know if he would have done that elsewhere. I really don't. But unpopular opinion, maybe. Let's see. Ivan Toney be a good sign, says user. He would be, but the only issue is that Ivan Toney is not going to get a transfer until these betting allegations are done with, because he is looking at a lengthy suspension. I think, was it Kieran Trippier got a 2-month ban for breaching betting laws? I'm not sure when it was. Now, it could be completely wrong with them figures, but he got a decent enough ban, and he only had maybe, I'd say, less than 10 breaches. Ivan Toney has something like 200 plus breaches of betting laws. So he's looking at a substantial time on the sidelines. So I don't think any team is going to be in for him. You know, if that's all to blow over, then I would say, yeah, he'd be a brilliant signing for United. Daniel from Uganda, short number for Jorginho. Let me have a check for you, Daniel, and we'll see. I don't know if it's even been mentioned. Let's have a gander here. Let's see. Let's see. So Sky Sports News, by the way, are now reporting that Alanga will not be leaving Manchester United, despite being linked with a loan move to Everton, which is good. Let's have a look here. We'll have a look for Jorginho. There's a couple of reports there about him signing, but I don't see anything in relation to his shirt number. No, nothing as of yet in relation to a shirt number, so it hasn't been announced yet. It's also been announced that no Fernandes in the Benfica squad. He's not in the Benfica squad for tonight's Portuguese league game against Arouca. It is understood that Fernandes has been undergoing a medical ahead of a potential move. Chelsea are still yet to agree a payment structure with Benfica for the Argentina international. So there we go. But yeah, you got a 10-week ban, says Tim. Yeah, there we go, in relation to Trippier. Yeah, so look, yeah, he's going to get a way longer ban. And if he's found guilty. He got the number 20 shirt. There we go. So people are saying he's got the number 20 shirt, which is good. Happy days. I appreciate that, guys. Oliver says, what's up with Frankie de Jong? Now look, let's not start talking about Frankie de Jong too soon, because I think I mentioned his name about 74 times every day during the last transfer window. Look, Man United are going to go back in for him. I really do think we will go back in for him in the summer. Ten Hag is a massive fan of him. He would be a brilliant signing. And by all accounts, reports have suggested that Barcelona do need to move 200 to 300 million euro off of their wage bill in the next 12 months. So, I mean, that's huge. That really is huge. So, there's going to be a fire sale over there as well. If we get Champions League football, obviously it gives us a stronger chance of getting him in the summer. So, we'll just have to wait and see. We really will. But yeah, let's have a look. Any updates? Notifications. Randy followed me on Twitter, which I appreciate if you're watching. Now, so updates on Sabitzer, guys. Again, anybody on TikTok, we're putting a lot of the information up on the screen over on YouTube as well. If you want to flick over to the YouTube channel, we're live over there. Link is on my homepage, or just search United Community Channel. So putting it up on the screen now, guys, that in relation to Sabitzer, it's signed between both clubs for Sabitzer, and all we're waiting on now is the player's signature. So we're closing in on it. Looks like it's going to get done, you would expect, in the next maybe 30 minutes to an hour or so. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. But look, looks like everything is in place. I don't see anything happening here in relation to it falling apart. It looks like it's going to be signed, sealed and delivered. But yeah, it's going to be yeah, we're looking at a new signing, a new loan signing. Good player at that as well. So let's see. De Jong said in an interview he'd rather play for Liverpool. So Sherman, yeah, well, we'll see when Liverpool are in the Europa Conference League next year. Will he want to play for him then? Gakpo wanted to play for United ahead of Liverpool, but he went to Liverpool. So let's see what happens. Sabitzer is in England to finalise his Man U deal. Yeah, it's nearly done, guys. Nearly done. Do you think it's a good signing, says Kevin? Yeah, I do. He's a versatile midfielder. Can play anywhere across the middle. He can. He's got a goal in him. He's got an assist in him. Good passer of the ball. Big, physical, good in the air. Happy days. You don't get to a club like Bayern Munich by not being a good footballer either. And he's 28 years of age. He's in his prime. So happy days. And again, it goes back to what I've said, hundreds of times at this stage now. The manager wants him, I'm happy, Let's see what people on YouTube are saying. Cottle says they need to trust the process with Potter. I agree. Look at Arteta now after all the dopey Arsenal fans wanted him gone. Yep. Twig says breaking news. Zidane confirms he's learning English so he can turn down the Chelsea job. Love it. Exactly. Dale says same as Pep, never inherited a bad side. Exactly. Jorginho is a decent signing for Arsenal, says Cottle. I agree. Chelsea should have to pay it all straight out. It's a buyout clause, not a transfer fee as such, says Ben. That's a great point, Ben. I have to agree with you on that one. The fact that, and maybe it is something that should be a rule, if there's a transfer clause, and I'm sure it is a clause that teams could put in. I mean, you can put basically anything you want into a clause, as long as it's legal. But that look, if you do have a buyout clause, it has to be paid in a lump sum, or else no dice. But I don't know how Chelsea are getting away with it, to be honest. Let's see. What's the Twitter, Jack, says Dale. Let me get it for you now. I'll put it up on screen. If I can. There we go. There we go, Dale. There's the Twitter, guys. Anyone else wants to follow on Twitter? Link is in the chat there. Anyone on TikTok wants to follow me on Twitter as well? Link is on my homepage. You can go check it out. Pierce says, Isco in Germany, things were good. Then why Isco to Union Berlin failed at the last moment? And Oliver says, can you confirm our move to United? There's been no real updates on it in the last couple of hours. By all accounts, United were offered him, but they didn't take the offer up. So, I mean, money must really be tight, to be quite honest with you. So, I mean, I don't know. Look, I mean, it would have been a good signing. It would obviously another player bulk up the squad, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Some updates in relation to Brandon Williams as well, guys. Anybody that's watching on YouTube at the moment, I'll put it up on the screen. Again, anyone on TikTok, if you want to check it out over on YouTube, link is on the homepage. Putting a lot of stuff up on the screen. And it looks like Brandon Williams is going to stay at Manchester United as well. So there was reports linking him with a move away, potentially on loan to get some first team football, but according to Simon Stone, it looks like bar a last minute change, he is going to stay at Manchester United. So now look, that probably would have been a player that I wouldn't have been overly worried if he had have left. I like Williams. I do like Brandon Williams. I love his passion and his hunger and all of that, but I don't think he's been in even a squad this season. If he has, it's been very few. I'd like to see him get some game time in the second half of the season, potentially even tomorrow night against Fulham. Or sorry, against Forest. Get him in there, get him some game time. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Chris says they can pay the same amount as the buyout clause, just agreed to be a transfer. And Dale says, can't see him being a United legend anytime in the future. And Oshin says, will you follow back? I certainly will, Oshin. I certainly will, my friend. Once I get the notification, I'll follow you back. But yeah, let's have a look here, see. Let's have a look, see. Williams can't even get into the under-21 squad on a regular basis, says Craig. Yeah, look, he has been injured as well. So yeah, it's yeah, maybe a loan deal is exactly what he needs. Sabitzer update, guys. He's currently undergoing his Manchester United medical as we speak, which is good news. Obviously, the deal or the medical can be done at a later date. It doesn't have to be done before the actual deadline day. We can have all of the signs formed or signs formed, the forms signed, all inputted. He can be officially, the legality side of it can be done, and then you can do your medical after that as well. So looks like it's going to get done. Usually them medicals are done quite fast as well. What have we got? An hour and 35 minutes or so to go. So yeah, happy days. Let's see. Rate Rovers are the best, bro, says Alistair. I'll take your word on it. Let's see what people are saying here. Ben says Williams Man United highlight taking Eriksen out when realising it was him. That actually wasn't a Man United highlight though, Ben, because he was playing with Norwich at the time. Twig says when's UCC FC coming back? Whenever FIFA release a good game, to be honest with you, Twigs, I just haven't got the time at the moment, and I haven't got the enthusiasm, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, I'm not getting an awful lot of gaming in at the moment, up to my eyeballs with obviously doing lives, and United are playing every couple of days, and going to a couple of games, and obviously I have an 18-month-old daughter and I have a wife as well that I need to talk to. So I'll try and squeeze one or two of them in throughout the rest of the season, though. Absolutely, if we've got a bit of downtime. Nearly 15,000 likes, guys. I really appreciate it. Anyone on TikTok, keep smashing the like button for me. As we know, it helps out the channel an awful lot. If you have a second, tap the screen. Maybe tap it for 30 seconds. Give us 100 likes. Let's get them likes up. Gets more people into the chat. Hit the follow button as well if you haven't done so. Cottle says, haven't played FIFA in yonks. It's awful. Chris says, are we doing a members chat Thursday? We are, Chris. We'll do one of them on Thursday. So anyone who's unaware of that, guys, watching on YouTube, or anyone on TikTok that wants to become an official member of the YouTube channel, we do a members only live on Thursday nights, where not only can you be in the chat putting in your comments, but you can actually come onto the screen and have a chat. We had, was there 5 or 6 of us maybe the last time? And they're really good. We just, anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, we just talk all things Manchester United, all of the updates, all of the news about games and stuff like that. So if it is something that you think you might be interested in, you can click on the link in the description of the video, or it's pinned to the top of the chat as well. There's some options there about becoming an official member, and if you do, I appreciate the support. Dale says, I'll get on this one. You will, Dale. I'll make sure you get on this one. So, obviously, we're doing this tonight. We're doing a watch-along then tomorrow. And then we'll do the members-only live on Thursday night as well. So, yeah, looking forward to it. And we've got a game on Saturday or Sunday, I think. Let's have a look here. I think we're playing... Yeah, we're playing Saturday at 3 o'clock, home to Crystal Palace. So yeah, we'll have tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday night, and then Saturday. And then the podcasts. Obviously, I haven't done a podcast in a couple of weeks now. They're coming back on Monday night. So we'll have a live, and obviously we stream our podcasts live on YouTube as well, as anyone who's been watching knows. So if you do want to check out the podcast, guys, anyone on TikTok, the link is on my homepage as well. It's called United Community Podcast. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're everywhere. Go check out some of the older podcasts, and do give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening as well, because it really does help out the podcast an awful lot. And I'm trying to get them every week. I don't know if any of you guys follow, especially on TikTok, RNA Deck. He's another United. He has a United channel and all that. I've been in contact with him. I'm going to be going on his channel for a video with him, and he's going to come on a podcast. If not Monday coming, the following Monday. So he's got a big following, about 150,000, I think, as well. So looking forward to getting back into the podcast as well. So we're busy, as Ben says. Peter says, happy to be here today again. Long time. Please tell me about the latest transfer news about Manchester United. So Sabitzer is undergoing his medical as we speak. As you can see right. Oh, that's not it. That's it. So as you can see there, undergoing his medical as we speak, Peter. Doesn't seem to be too much more going on in relation to Manchester United, ins or outs, but obviously we're going to be here until 11 o'clock, keeping everyone up to date on it, having a chat, see how we get on. But that looks to be the only business that United are going to do, unless we do something really, really drastic in the coming hour and a half that we're not aware of, but it looks like that's going to be it for United. So let's have a look, see any other updates. Looks like as well there's been talks as well, I wanted to mention it actually, I forgot to mention it, in relation to Jadon Sancho, and reports have suggested that he is going to be involved in the matchday squad tomorrow. So it's good news. It's good news for Manchester United, getting a player like Sancho back at an important stage of the season where we're coming up to some very important games. Barcelona, Carabao Cup final, hopefully. Leeds United we're playing. So it looks like Jadon Sancho is back. He's ready to go. Again, look, there's not going to be any rush. And obviously it's going to take him time to get back up to match fitness and stuff like that. But let's have a look here. Any other updates? We need more Glazers out, says Sir Maxwell. Well, look, they're on the way. They're on the way out. It's going to happen. Just give it some time. Let me have a look. Any other updates here on Sky Sports News? We try and keep you up to date here, guys. Here's one for all the Manchester United fans, or even not Manchester United fans in the chat. And I was thinking about it today because I was listening to the Stretford Paddock, and they were talking about how well certain players are playing for Manchester United this season. Obviously Casemiro, Eriksen, Martinez, Rashford. If the season was to end now, who would you give Player of the Year to? I think there's only two real candidates, in my opinion. I think it's Casemiro or Rashford. But let me know in the chat, what do you think? Who would you give Player of the Year to now if the season was to end? Thomas says Casemiro, Rashford or Varane. Pick one. Kaylee says Casemiro. Maxwell says 18. That's obviously Eriksen. Philip says Rashford. Boss says Casemiro. Bob says Martinez. Player of the Year, definitely Casemiro, says Craig. Rashford says Adrian. Martinez for Michael there as well. Casemiro for sure, says Blue Hat. Barney says Casemiro. Thomas says Casemiro. Sharon says Rashford. Paul says Fred. Go on to Fred. Eva says Rashford. Jones says Brian. Casemiro. Yeah, so look, I mean, people are torn between the two. They really are. Let's see. Liverpool are fools. They were just beating around the bush with getting a midfielder, says Twigs. Oshin says, sorry Jack, what time did you say for Thursday? 7:30, Oshin. 7:30 for Thursday. Dale says Martinez for Player of the Year. Cottle says Casemiro without a doubt. Paul says Fernandes to Chelsea. Here we go. Oliver says Rashford. Ben says Casemiro. Chris says Bruno. More stickers. Oh yeah, let me see. Can I get more stickers? I'll get on that tomorrow, Chris. I'm going to try and get some more stickers added because I think I have enough channel members now to add more. So I think I think I should be able to add some more. United crest. I'll get on it. Yeah, I'll get on it. We'll get a Martinez sticker on as well. I get a United crest on as well. Yeah. It's tight, says Jaw. Casemiro or Rashford, one is all for goals, the other is all about the play. I agree with you there. A half-time Tato sticker, surely. Maybe. I'll look into it, see what I can do. What's my pick? My pick for player of the year so far. I would probably go with Casemiro, to be honest. Reason being is, let me put it this way. I don't think Rashford would have scored as many goals or be playing as well if Casemiro wasn't in the team. And let me explain that. He's basically doing the job of two men, Fred and McTominay, and what they've been doing for the last couple of years. You know, he's cemented that midfield. And then on the back of that, he's given the freedom for players just to go forward. You know, Bruno, Eriksen. And that in turn is allowing a lot more balls to get to Rashford. Now, don't get me wrong. Rashford has completely changed his game. He's been a different player in relation to what he was last year. But I think Casemiro coming in, both for his defensive side of the game, but he's also chipped in with this. Like, his range of passing is so good. He's chipped in with goals. He's chipped in, and important goals as well. You know, he's chipped in with assists. Yeah, I think I'd have to go for Casemiro. I really would. If you can get one with a bucket hat, I'd cry, says Dale. Bucket hat like that. Although it's too small for my head. Well, it's not too small for my head. There we go. Bucket hat like that. United Community Channel bucket hat. I may start getting these made. Start selling them. Maybe there could be a flashy graphic design looking thing. Maybe. I'll look into it. Katie says, I have a question. Would you ever go to United ladies game if they played in Old Trafford? I certainly would, Katie. Absolutely. See, the issue I would have in that is that it costs me a lot of money to get over to Old Trafford, obviously going from Ireland. But if I was in Manchester and there was a ladies game on, I would absolutely go to it. Yeah. I would go to a youths game. I would go to any Manchester United game. I really would. Is it a big hat? It's a big hat, not a small head. No, opposite way around, Barney. It's a big head and a small hat. I'm afraid. Members merch, says Dale. Maybe someday, Dale. Maybe someday. We'll look into it. Well, I have a hairline up there, though. And still, you know, like Luke Shaw's hairline. Might as well leave the hat off and show it off. You know what I mean? But yeah, the hat is there. Philip says, is United in the market for any other player? It doesn't look like it, Philip. Obviously, we're going to be here until the end of the transfer window. But it does look like Manchester United's transfer activity is going to be over after we get the official word of Sabitzer. Twig says, Casemiro allows Bruno and Eriksen to play freely. Exactly. And he also says, a game's a game and a real fan would support all teams, to be fair. Yep, absolutely, I would. Oshin says, Tottenham striker Harry Kane has been spotted licking the transfer window. Oh, God, that's good. Katie says, I'm just proud of the ladies being top of the table at the moment. It's absolutely great to see. And I see as well that the potential deal for what was the lady's name? She was going, or Arsenal were in for a world record or for a world transfer fee. But I think the deadline is passed now. So there was a big deal supposedly going on between United and Arsenal for one of the United ladies players. But obviously it hasn't happened, which is good for United. Ladies, given the fact that they're going for, they're top of the table, top of the league. Thoughts on Russo? I don't really know, to be quite honest with you. Just give me 1 sec. Let me put in the headphones. I'm going to drop in the headphones. Give me a sec. Whoop! We're talking a lot of gibberish there for a second. So, Vestergaard turns down a loan move. Yeah, nothing major there. Nothing major. So, let me see. Rosso, sorry, that was the name of the girl. That's what we were talking about. Apologies. So she was, Arsenal were in for her. They wanted to sign her from Manchester United, and it would have been I think a world record transfer for any ladies team or for any ladies transfer. And obviously United's ladies team are top of the table at the moment, and Arsenal are in hot pursuit, I think. I don't think they're far off of them. So it's good news that Rosso stayed, and obviously the ladies are going for the league, and hopefully they can close it out. Oliver says, has United developed any interest in Harry Kane lately? What about United's Harry Maguire exit? Wished. Okay, so Newcastle are down to 10 men, guys. So there's 10 minutes to go in that game. It's 3-1 on aggregate, 2-1 on the night, and Newcastle are down to 10 men. Who got sent off? Does that mean that player would be suspended for the final? Or can they use that suspension? Just give me 1 sec. Gameres sent off. I'm going to put on that game. So yeah, Newcastle are down to 10 men. And Southampton have a free kick in a dangerous position here. I'll keep you up to date on it. I have it on the screen here, so I'll keep you up to date on everything. So yeah, anyway, in relation to Harry Kane, Kurt, thanks for the gift. Really appreciate it. Harry Kane to Manchester United, or Harry Kane out of Spurs, is going to depend on whether he signs a new deal or not. He has 18 months left on his deal, and if Spurs can tie him down to a new... Oh, right, okay, so Gameres will miss the final. I've just seen a notification come up on Twitter, so he is going to miss the final. So that's good news for United if we can get there tomorrow. So James Ward-Prowse is going to take a free kick here. If anyone can score, it's him. Oh, good. The wall does really well. And one of the players takes it right in the face. So yeah. And Maguire exit in relation to Oliver's question there. No, he's not going to leave. He may potentially leave in the summer. He probably will leave in the summer if he wants first team football, to be quite honest. But I think in relation to January, he's not going to go anywhere. We need as much depth in the squad as we can get. Sir Philip Anthony Jones survived another transfer window, says Dale. He certainly did. His contract is up at the end of the season, though, I think. I wonder will he get a testimonial. Paul says he's out of the final straight red, I'm sure. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. Which is good. He's out for the final, which is good news for United. Now, look, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because obviously we still need to win tomorrow night to get to the final. Well, we don't need to win, but we're going in with a 3-0 lead. So, I mean, if we fucking throw that away. So, according to Sabitzer's agent, who's just posted on Twitter, he says, medical now, agent Whitman at Sky. The most unpleasant person to be around when he's not playing is Sabitzer. He hates it when he loses. That's the bottom line. Character-wise, the kid is an absolute killer. That's what players who always want to win look like. So it's good to hear, isn't it? Craig says, personally, I feel Kane's past moving anywhere. He's cemented at Spurs, win anything or not. Oh, I don't know. Like, Kane from the outside looking in at Manchester United and all of the positivity around him at the moment, and, you know, the potential of where we can go and the fact that we are desperate for a Harry Kane. I don't know. I think he could potentially have his head turned. But look, we'll know more in the coming months. We'll know probably before the transfer window, because it'll depend. If he doesn't sign a new contract before the transfer window, he'll go, I think. But if he signs one before then, he's obviously staying put, you know. Alan says Kane is 30 years old. He's 29. He'll be 30 in July. Tim says Enzo still hasn't done a medical yet for Chelsea, according to Fabrizio. I mean, Chelsea fans would be gutted if they miss out on him. They really would, you know, given. All right, so now they're saying that Bruno Guimaraes won't miss the final because of that red card. Straight reds carry over into all domestic competitions, so he'll have it served before the final. So there we go. Let's see. So Nottingham Forest have confirmed the arrival of Brazilian defender Felipe from Atletico Madrid. He signed a deal until June 2024. So they just keep signing players, you know. Oh. So there's conflicting reports on Twitter, guys. Some accounts are saying that he will miss the final. Other accounts are saying he won't miss it. So I don't think he will, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, there's been more reports coming out as well, guys. Obviously, I show it here on the screen on YouTube. But more reports are suggesting that Stoke City are exploring the possibility of a late move for Axel Tuanzebe. Now, they're going to have to move very, very quickly. They've got just over an hour to get everything signed, sealed and delivered. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on that before the end of the window. But yeah. Could we get Jude Bellingham in the summer, says Alan? We certainly could. Whether we will or not is the big question. Look, I think in relation to Bellingham, he's going to be wanted by all of the big hitters throughout Europe. He really is. And if look, if United get top four with new owners, I think there's a massive possibility that we will really go for him. Because if you were a new owner with a load of money and you want to make a good impression to the fans, what are you going to do? First thing you're going to do is going to go, bosh, here's 150 million, you know, and give him 300 grand a week. There you go, have it. You know, in you come, Jude. Sign a 6-7 year deal, you know, and we'll build the team around you for the next 5 or 6 years. Because I know Ten Hag wants him, you know. Who doesn't want him? So, and I think, you know, there's a lot of people were saying at the time, obviously United were heavily linked with him before he went to Borussia Dortmund, and it was between us and Borussia Dortmund, and he decided to go to Dortmund instead of United. And a lot of people have been saying, he turned you down once, he's never going to go to you. And I think I don't really subscribe to that, because going to Borussia Dortmund was probably a really smart move on the young lad's behalf, because we've seen throughout the years young players going to Dortmund as a stepping stone in their career. They tend to improve drastically, and Bellingham has done that. So I think maybe the fact that United were in for him, he got shown around Carrington and Old Trafford, and Alex Ferguson was in there. I think they brought in ex-players and all to show him around, just to try and soften him up. I think that might stand, come the summer transfer window. But top 4 is vital, first and foremost. But yeah. If United pay the money, they'll get him, says Michael. Paul says he has done a medical just to sign the paperwork. That's what Sky Sports said. Yep. Todd Bowley is basing his Chelsea project off Nottingham Forest. And Ushin says, can't they put on deal sheets up until 1 or 2 a.m? Maybe so. I think there's some, if it's in the system and it's just not processed yet, there is something like that. I do remember a few years ago them cracking down on that though as well. Because remember David De Gea going to Real Madrid. Basically, he didn't get the move because the fax machine wasn't fucking working and it didn't come through in time. So, I don't know. But yeah, I think some of the guys are saying there. Paul says that you can apply for a 2-hour extension, which maybe is what's going to happen with Chelsea and Enzo Fernandez. But the Enzo Fernandez deal is going to be the big deal for Chelsea. Southampton are really pressing here. Now we're into injury time. We're nearly 2 minutes into injury time. There's 7 minutes added on. So, look, I mean, I don't see Southampton scoring 2 in 5 minutes, but it looks like it's going to be a Newcastle and potentially United finals. So, let's see what happens. Noah is in from Uganda. Good to see you, pal. Thanks for joining us. Now let's have a look on Twitter here and on Sky Sports and see have we got any updates to let you know of. So Chelsea have agreed a Ziyech loan deal with PSG, and the loan does not include an option to buy. So there we go. So it looks like Ziyech is going to Paris. Let's have a look. Anything else here? Anything else? So Fulham have agreed a deal for Cedric in principle. The Arsenal defender is having a medical as we speak. So yeah, that's looks like everything there so far. Obviously Sky Sports are behind Twitter, really. So Fabrizio Romano, I'll throw it up on the screen, guys, on YouTube. Again, anyone on TikTok, we're putting a lot of information up on the screen. If you want to come over to YouTube, link is on the homepage. So you'll see it on the screen there now, guys. Officially completed. Matt Doherty has joined Atletico Madrid, a straight loan from Spurs. And that's coming from Fabrizio Romano. So any Irish people watching, me included, that's probably a good thing for us in terms of the Irish national squad, because defenders who go to Atletico Madrid tend to improve their defending side of the game really well, just on the basis of how Atletico Madrid play, Can't remember the last Irish player playing in Spain. There was a player, a young player who was playing there. He could still be playing. I can't remember his name. Alan says massive move for Doherty. Yeah, it is. Really is. Taff says, Sabitzer, great loan deal, good football and brain, can pick a pass and a decent shot on him. Yeah, and you know what as well, and I forgot to say it, a good good free kick taker as well. So yeah. So let's see, what else have we got coming up here? So it's also been suggested that the Sabitzer deal announcement is imminent. So we're probably going to hopefully we'll get it before the 11 o'clock. Well, I'm sure we will get it before the 11 o'clock deadline. But let's hope we get it while we're still live. Because obviously, sometimes that happens, doesn't it? You hear about it maybe an hour after. Let's see, anything else we're seeing here? Yeah, that seems to be all of the updates so far. So, you know, as we know with transfer deadline day, it tends to go quiet the last maybe hour or so, and then, you know, the last maybe 20 minutes. Is there a deal to be done? Can we get lads over the line? Bish, bosh, bush. You know, so Mark says, I take Sabitzer at United. Good replacement for Eriksen until the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, look, all of the reports suggest that it's a good loan deal. You know, Ten Hag is happy with him. All of the fans, majority of the fans seem to be happy with it. So happy days, you know. Paul says, Man United can't throw away a 3-goal lead, surely. Can they? No, look, they shouldn't, you know. Look, it depends what happens in terms of team selection tomorrow. Will Ten Hag make mass changes? He tends not to. He tends to make 1 or 2 changes and keeps teams as strong as he can. You know, and we're going into the Palace game on the weekend. So, race for top 4. But look, I mean, it's exciting. You know, I don't want to hear anyone giving out about, you know, the fixture congestion, because look, if we get injuries, we get injuries. Everyone has to do it. The fact that we have so many games is a good thing because we're still in 4 competitions, you know, so it's great. You know, if you go back to the 99 season and, you know, 3 games in 10 days to win the treble, you know, and all of these games, a replay against Arsenal in the FA Cup, and, you know, league games stacking up on top of each other. It was just, that's what you want to be in. You want to be in every competition. You want to have, you know, 3 games in 7 days, you know. So, happy days. Happy days. Just give me 1 second, guys. Little one is crying. Give me 1 sec. Now, let's have a look. Let's have a look. See. Right, so an update, guys. Putting it up on the screen here as we speak. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano says agreement reached right now between Chelsea and Benfica. Clubs running to get the documents signed before the end of the window. It's finally agreed. Boarding set to be completed. He's on his way to London. So for any of the Chelsea fans, sounds like good news for you. Enzo Fernandez is on the way. Great news for Chelsea fans, you'd have to say. Some updates in relation to Manchester United as well. And it does look like we're going to have a player leaving. Axel Tuanzebe heading to Stoke for a medical, set to be straight loan until the end of the season. And that's coming from Rob Dawson in ESPN. And there's the final whistle, guys. Newcastle are in the Carabao Cup final. 3-1. They've won. So, so interesting there. Enzo Fernandez looks like it's done and dusted for Chelsea. Axel Tuanzebe is outgoing for Manchester United, loan till the end of the season. I'm happy for him, to be quite honest with you. He deserves a bit of game time, in fairness to him. Anything else? Let's see. Axel Tuanzebe. Matt Doherty signed. Yeah, we covered that. And yeah, we've said that as well about Ziyech to PSG as well. So there we go. Let's see what people are saying here. The return of the United Family Channel, says Twigs. What's this Adidas announcement stuff about, says Dale. I haven't heard anything about it, Dale. I would presume it's in relation to... well, there already are sponsors, jersey sponsors, aren't there? So I'm not sure, because I know we're looking for new sponsors. I haven't really heard about it, to be honest. Paul says... Oshin says, Todd Bowley knows you don't play 11 midfielders, right? And Paul says, yes, get in Enzo, about time. Now we can spend 500 million in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised. Cottle says, Chelsea have truly ruined the market. How is Enzo Fernandez worth 120 million? Yeah, you're buying a lot of potential, aren't you? More so than maybe experience. It's a big gamble. It's a big gamble. Niall says Spurs have terminated Doherty's contract. I haven't heard that. I didn't see that now, but Dale says apparently another big signing by a team sponsored by Adidas coming soon. Apparently another big signing by a team sponsored by Adidas coming soon. Would that be Enzo Fernandez maybe? Are Chelsea sponsored by... Are Chelsea sponsored by Adidas? No, they're Nike, are they? Yeah, they are Nike. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it is United. Hopefully it's United. Andrew, thanks for the gifts. Really appreciate it. Michael saying Chelsea are playing career mode. They are. They're playing it on super easy as well. So... Let me just have a check here. Yeah, no, nothing. Great. Reckon Sabitzer will make the Palace game. He should. I mean, Everton is signed and he'll be registered and all of that. So, yeah, he should. I think, is it 48 hours? I think you have to be registered before. And it looks like that all that's going to get done tonight. So, it's yeah, he should be available for Saturday. Happy days. Craig says, I think it was said Chelsea's aim to spend 500 million this transfer window and 500 million in the summer. I mean, they're crazy. They really are. Absolutely crazy. I mean, like, if you're looking at if you're looking at financial fair play, I mean, they're going to have to sell players. They're just going to have to sell them. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they don't say, like, obviously I know they're trying to string out a lot of the payments over a 6-year period and things like that. But I mean, the amount of players they're after signing is just is what's crazy, you know. They're spreading contracts out over 8 years, so that is helping with FIFA fair play or financial fair play. Yeah, maybe so, but I mean, the majority of the money you would spend on a transfer is the actual transfer fee, more so than the wages. Well, maybe not. I mean, well, yeah, it probably is, you know, but I mean, like, if you're giving a guy 300 grand a week, really you don't want to be giving him an 8-year contract, because you're tied into giving him 300 grand a week for 8 years, you know. So, like, if that's the case, then I think maybe a shorter contract is probably what would benefit clubs more. I don't know. Adam says Chelsea might not get that done. They have an hour. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Got the potatoes ready for tomorrow, says Alice. I certainly do. Halftime potatoes incoming on tomorrow's watch along. Like I said, I had, I think, 1 pack left in the multi-pack bag. I was going to eat them tonight, but then I was like, nah, I have to keep them for tomorrow. So, yeah. Tune in tomorrow night, guys. We will be live from 7:30, I think. Let me just double check. I presume it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Yeah, so we'll be live from 7:30 tomorrow night for the live watch along. Like I said, we're going to get the podcasts up and running again. Haven't done them for a few weeks now as well, so looking to get a couple of guys on as well. Obviously, I was talking to Adam as well, if he's around. And RNA Deck, who's on TikTok as well, will be coming on in a week or two with me as well, if he's around. So looking forward to getting the podcast up and running again on a weekly basis. And of course, Ricey will be back. So yeah. Alan says, love this forum, Jack. Fair play. Appreciate it, Alan. Appreciate it, pal. Head over to the YouTube channel as well, guys, and hit subscribe over there. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. We do the full experience over there for the watch-alongs. You know, we have scoreboards, timers, starting 11s, all of that stuff. Link is on my homepage. If you could take a second, click on the link and hit the subscribe button. It'll help me out an awful lot. So yeah, we're building the YouTube channel as well. So I really appreciate it. Paul says, Fabrizio Romano said Spurs did terminate Doherty's contract and he will go as a free agent. Jesus. That is very strange. What is that all about? I don't know. They seriously loaned out Spence, terminated Doherty's contract and kept Emerson. He's got Levy held at gunpoint. Alex says, any good players been signed since 8, Jack? No, so it's just the one. Just the one, Alex. Sabitzer. Now, we're still waiting on the official announcement. But, yeah, it looks like it's going to be... it looks like it's going to be done within the next 50 minutes, hopefully. So yeah, it has been reported as well that Chelsea will pay Enzo Fernandez's £105 million release clause in three payments spread across 2 years. I mean, that's still a lot of money if you're trying to get in. If you're like, what's going to happen with Chelsea? Fucking listen to me now. This is what's going to happen to Chelsea. They're not going to be able to sign anyone maybe after next summer if they keep going the way they're going. Because they won't be able to stay within FFP. They really won't. Update on Hakem Ziyech as well, guys. Fabrizio Romano is saying and putting it up on the screen here now as well. That, yeah, so here we go. So PSG are set to sign Hakim Ziyech. Here we go. Deal agreed and unlocked on a loan move until June. No buy option clause included. PSG have a deal in place with Chelsea. The medical is done. Ziyech only wanted PSG and he's on the way to Paris as we speak. So there we go. Chelsea, players in, players out. But they're not selling players. They still have players on the books, which is a big worry. Well, look, I don't know. Is it a worry? I mean, you know, Chelsea fans don't... I'm not going to tell you what Chelsea fans should be worried about. They'll tell you. But yeah. Oshin says, FFP cracking down on those huge 8-year contracts now. Max allow now will be 5. Stop clubs using the loopholes. Yep. And made new boot. Oh yeah, Dale is saying, I think it's only Pedri signed to Adidas and made a new boot. And Ben says, had too many players on loan with UEFA rules apparently, so had to terminate his contract. Alright, there we go. Jazeel, thanks for the gift. Really appreciate it. Do you think United need a striker, says David? Yes, I do. In the long term we do. Obviously we have Big Vout there at the moment as a kind of a stopgap, but I think going forward, I think yeah, we do need a striker. We absolutely need a striker. And we'll more than likely get one in the summer. We really will. I think it's a foregone conclusion. Who we get is that's the big question, really, isn't it? Digestive Dipper, you are just full of positivity all the time, by. Tic Tac, thanks for the gifts. So let me put it out to you this way, guys. So we're talking about strikers, obviously, for Manchester United. And obviously it's not going to happen in this transfer window, but we're talking summer transfer windows. Let's throw 3 names out to you. And who would you prefer? Kane, Osman, or Sesko? Let me know in the chat. Kane, Osman, or Sesko? Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, Vlahovic as well. Sorry, I forgot Vlahovic. Yeah, you can throw Vlahovic in on it as well, if you wish. Interesting. Interesting. Ask Chris, says Ben. We know who Chris wants. Well, we know who he doesn't want. Yeah, majority of people are saying Osman. Look, I think I like Osman, right? And I think, you know, a lot of the members, we done a members video a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about strikers, and you know, this question came up about Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen and Sesko and Vlahovic, these types of players. And in relation to a striker, look, in relation to Osimhen specifically, he is an elite player, right? He's an elite player in the numbers he's putting up at the moment. He's putting them up in Serie A, though. That's the worry I have, okay? Now, Kane, on the other hand, has been putting up numbers in the Premier League for 10 years. And I think he can easily do it for another 3, you know. But if you're looking long term, and you're talking about for you know, the next 10 years, you're talking Osimhen, just given his age, you know. Whereas Harry Kane would be we're signing you on a 3-year deal with the option of a 4th, for example. And outside of that, like, you're talking maybe in 2 to 3 years' time, we're looking again for another striker. You know, so if you're looking for guaranteed goals in the Premier League, you can't get much better than Harry Kane. I don't care what anyone says. Now, Osimhen is a risk because he's never played in the Premier League. That would be my whole thought process on it. I think Osimhen is a fantastic footballer, and if he lived up to his expectation and the potential that he has, he would rip the Premier League asunder. But whether he does that is another story. Whereas if you go for Harry Kane, you're going for the safe option. You're going for guaranteed 20 goals a season for the next 3 years. You know, and the guys that have been on the members only videos with me have heard me say that for a long time I've always thought of Harry Kane as a Man United player for some reason. Just that kind of sniffing in around the 6-yard box, a real poacher of a striker, but can also score brilliant goals. And he reminds me of the United strikers of old. You know, a Wayne Rooney, a Ruud van Nistelrooy, an Andy Cole, a Dwight York, a Mark Hughes. And United traditionally have gone for them types of players. You know, them types of strikers. So for that reason, I would like to see Harry Kane play for United. But it all depends whether he signs a new deal or not. Tactics says Kane will get slated by the media like Maguire. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, but the difference between Kane and Maguire is that Kane is world class. Maguire is dirt. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you get Harry Kane into Manchester United and he scores 5 goals in his first 8 games, you know, by media. You know what I mean? No problems. You know. See, now Bruno won't miss the final, says Paul. We will miss 3 Premier League games. Yeah, he won't. He can work him off in the Premier League games. Any domestic competitions. Sam says, I think Kane would be fantastic. Just my opinion. There you go. Dirt is a nice way of saying it, says Shane. Double dirt. Let's see. Is there any Manx that support Manchester United? There is. I was in Manchester last week and I was surrounded by him in the Talgate bar. I was talking to an awful lot of them. I was singing with him as well. Yeah. How long can Harry Kane play for United? Guy will be 30 soon. Yeah, I mean, I think we could easily get 3 years out of him. Easily, you know. What is your full-time job, says Buzz. I work for a health insurance company. Harry Maguire is pure dirt, says Sarah. Let's see. MUFC says, what was the score last time we played Newcastle at Wembley? And Russo out for United, says Mohammed. No, I think that deal is off. Kane will be more like a Dimitar Berbatov. Yeah, a completely different type of striker, but I know what you're saying in relation to... I mean, look, we brought Mark Hughes back to Manchester United, for fuck's sake, and he was scoring goals. You know, Teddy Sheringham was 33 when he signed for Manchester United, and he scored a winner in the European Cup. You know, scored in the FA Cup final 4 days before that. So, Harry Kane, I think he could do the job. I really do. Let's have a look. Any more updates? It seems to be going a bit quiet on the update front. I think Tuanzebe now is probably the most we're going to get. Let's see. So yeah, Alex Crook is saying on TalkSport that Man United will get the Sabitzer deal done tonight. So yeah, look, obviously we're still waiting, but look, it'll get done. I mean, it'll get done. I wouldn't be too worried about it. If it doesn't get done, we're going to be laughing stock. We really are. And also then, what else have we got? Howard Nurse, who works for BBC Sports, says Marcel Sabitzer almost done. So there we go. We're getting there. Man United, let's go, says Osman over Kane all day. There we go. And look, I mean, I let me just put it out there straight away. I would take either of them in a heartbeat. They're both fantastic footballers. I think we would get Kane a lot cheaper, and I think that is something that's probably going to come into the decision making as well in relation to the summer transfer window. We're going to be in phase 2 of the clear out in Manchester United. Obviously, we had phase 1 last summer. We got rid of a lot of Deadwood, signed some very good players, and then this summer is going to be phase 2 of that. Now, depending on the owners we get in and the amount of money we have in the transfer window, you would say, okay, if we're looking at it from a financial standpoint, Kane is probably the better option, given the fact that you would probably get him for about 70 million. You're going to be talking minimum 120 million for Osimhen, minimum, because that's what Napoli are going to look for him. So if we're looking at getting, if we do go back in for Frankie de Jong, and we're looking at maybe another right back, if we're looking at getting another centre back in as well, maybe another midfielder, on top of it, whatever it is, then we're not going to be going out and signing 3 players for 150 million each. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work, So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a very exciting summer. It's going to be a very exciting 2023 for Manchester United, you would have to say. Obviously, the Glazer reign is coming to an end, which is brilliant. So, there's going to be exciting times in the next few months in relation to who we get as a new owner, and all of the positivity that comes around that. We're then bosh straight. Hopefully we have a good season. Hopefully we can win the Carabao Cup. Go far in the likes of Europa, get top 4, FA Cup, all of that good stuff. And then we're going into a transfer window with new owners who are more than likely going to invest nicely into the club. Erik ten Hag running the show. Rashford getting player of the year. Casemiro coming out and saying he was actually lying. He's only 26. He lied on his birth cert, and we're going, ha ha, lovely. There's another 10-year contract. So look, it's good. It's good. Coming out of the misery that we've had over the last few years, it's we're in a good place. We're in a good place, and it's a nice time to be a Manchester United fan. And it's been a while since we can say that. Nana says, Kane is a finished product, and Frankie disrespected United. United must sign committed players. I discussed this about Frankie de Jong an awful lot throughout the summer. He didn't disrespect Manchester United. He just didn't want to leave Barcelona. Now, if he's leaving Barcelona, why wouldn't he come to Manchester United? So, I don't think he disrespected Manchester United. I just think he wanted to stay in Barcelona. And I wouldn't be, that would be like going up to that would be like going up to a woman in a nightclub, or a man if you're a woman, or a man if you're a man, or a woman if you're a woman, and going, hey, do you want to come home with me? And she went, that's my boyfriend. And you went, so? Just come home with me. And she went, no, and stayed with her boyfriend. And you got highly offended. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really make sense that people are getting offended that he wanted to stay in Barcelona. There's a big difference. You know what I mean? I thought that was a great analogy, I have to say. Anyway, let's see. Katie says, we need players who have experience in winning and winning trophies. Oliver says, with a draw with Palace in the first leg, it's a must win. I think you mean Forest, Oliver. Man United says, what about midfielders in the summer? Yeah, we discussed that. He says, I'm looking at a big spend in the summer. Whoever buys United will definitely have another level of money. Just hope they let Ten Hag do what he wants and don't buy players he doesn't want. Yeah, well, that's the worry, wouldn't it? You don't want the last thing you would want to see is a new owner coming in at Manchester United and going to Erik ten Hag, I got this, I'll sign who I want. Like Todd Bowley, for example, at Chelsea. He's signing who he wants, not who Graham Potter wants. And I think if that does happen, Erik ten Hag is not going to stick around too long at Manchester United. I really don't think so. But anyway, let's have a look, see. Keep smashing the like button for us, guys. We're 22,500 likes. Great to see. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the follow button. We do daily Manchester United content. All of the watch-alongs throughout the season as well. We're live tomorrow night for the United and Forest game. So make sure you're hitting the follow button. Take a second, smash the like button a few times for us as well. And if you're new to the TikTok channel, I really would appreciate it if you can click on my homepage and click on the link to YouTube and just hit the subscribe button as well, because we go live on YouTube as well alongside TikTok, and we're live there at the moment as well if you want to go check it out. So yeah, user says, so far Ten Hag has shown he knows the right players, not only for his way of playing, but also, I presume there's another one coming, but I do agree with you so far. Daryl says, hi everyone, I'm a Chelsea fan. Good to see you, Daryl. Thanks for joining us. Good night to be a Chelsea fan, I'd say, with all of the signings you're getting in the door. Who will be successful with the new ownership should trust him, says user. Yep, I agree with you there. Thoughts on Sancho returning to the team tomorrow, says Joe. I'm delighted, to be quite honest with you. Now again, look, it goes back to what I've said previously. I'm not going to be in any hurry to rush him back into having great games and performing, consistently week in, week out. It's going to take a bit of time, so give him his time, let him do his thing. Game here, game there, bring him on when we need him, maybe off the bench. Happy days. Because I think Ten Hag is doing the right thing with him, and if we can get half of the player that was at Dortmund, we're going to have a serious player on our hands. 2-0 made, FA Cup final, 1999, year of the treble, good omen, Sheringham and Scholes. There you go. Sheringham and Scholes, boy. Sheringham came off the bench. He wasn't even starting because Roy Keane got injured. He scored 5 minutes later. There you go. Darryl is happy with the new Chelsea players. There you go. See what other people are saying here. Newcastle fans in saying thoughts on Bruno Guimaraes red. I actually haven't seen the red card yet. Let me have a look here on Twitter. Search. Guimaraes red card. Let's have a look here and see. Latest. Any sign of the video on? Oh, I've seen a still frame of where his foot was. It's not nice. Let's have a look here. Oh no, that's a fucking red card. Yeah, it is a red card. Really is. That's a leg breaker. Your man's left foot is planted on the ground and he just comes in high right above the ankle. Yeah, it's a dirty one. Alan says, up the Reds, go for Son from Salford. Me Sabitzer, good signing. Yeah, good signing. I'm happy with him. Wisdom says, I really want Manchester United to sign Mitoma from Brighton. Best loan deal of the window, says Joe. And Alan says, yeah, I love Sancho. I really hope it works out. I really want... Yeah, we read that one already. Let's see. Read that one as well. He doesn't miss Wembley, says NUFC. No, he doesn't. He'll be able to use up them games domestically in any domestic competition. So, yeah. Katie says, any news on who's buying us? Need modern in the side. The club also. Man United, let's go, says, I hope they have a major revamp in the summer. Literally strip the club and get who Erik ten Hag wants. Even ask Erik ten Hag for advice on new board members. Never know, Van der Sar might be interested. Yeah, maybe so. Twig says, I miss Juan Mata when he was Eriksen before Eriksen. He's just a lovely man, wasn't he? Tom says, OMG, Enzo Fernandez signed an 8.5-year contract until 2031, and Keylor Navas and Felipe to Nottingham Forest. Here we go. Yeah, look, I mean, the issue with an 8.5-year contract is not only are the club are trying to get around FFP, that's okay, but they're also putting themselves into not only is the player signing a contract, what you have to realise is the club are signing that contract alongside him. So if he's getting 200 grand a week, they're guaranteeing him 200 grand a week for 8.5 years, and he can literally just go, what age is he now, 22? He can go, if he even is 22, I don't know what age he is, he can go, right, I'll just put my feet up here. I have an 8.5-year, because you imagine Phil Jones got an 8.5-year contract. For fuck's sake, we would have never got rid of him, even though he's still there now at the moment. And he'll be gone in the summer. But clubs are taking a big risk in giving 8.5-year contracts out as well, So they're taking a big risk on getting players and giving them 8.5-year deals, because if you're looking at trying to sell that player in 2 years' time, they're going to say, right, well, it hasn't worked out, but he has 8.5 years left on his deal, and a team comes in for him. Yeah, well, you're going to have to pay us big money. Well, we're not paying you big money, but then Chelsea are going to say, but look, he has 6 years left on his contract. You have to pay us big money to get him off us. And they're just going to go, well, fuck off. Let him sit there in the reserves and continue to get, 200 or 300 grand a week for 6-7 years. It's, so it's a big risk from clubs as well. And it's a lot more, it's a lot more power into the players' hands. And players already have an awful lot of power at the moment. Giving them 8.5-year contracts is not going to diminish that power at all. Chris is back. It's got to be Bellingham or De Jong this summer, says Man United. Chris says, I don't think it's right that they say contracts are only 5 years. Yeah, I agree with you there, Chris. I think UEFA are coming in and saying, they're looking to clamp down on these 8-year contracts and going to put it potentially at a maximum of 5 years. I don't agree with that either, because if you're a club, you're entering into a contract with the player. You're entitled to offer whatever contract you want. If both parties agree on it, then it's okay. And like we said, it might work out for that player. He could put his feet up and just run down his contract and continue to get his money for 8.5 years. So I think I think it should be allowed. I really do. Forest having a good window, says Dale. They are, in fairness to them, they're just spending everywhere. Oliver said, would United have this big of a fan base if Sir Alex Ferguson never achieved so much success in the 2000s? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even look at Liverpool, for example. Liverpool's fan base has grown over the last 5 years since they've been successful, I'm from Ireland, and before City were bought in 2006 or 7, whatever it was, 2005, whatever it was, I don't think I've ever seen a City fan or someone wearing a City jersey, and now, not saying that there's too many of them around now, but you'd see the odd one here and there, So, the more successful you are, the more fans you'll get globally. Absolutely. Father Deco says, your tea is ready. I'll come in when I want. That was a great Father Ted episode, by the way. Chelsea buying players like a single young lad, while United like a married man picking an affair. It's a good analogy. Contracts mean nothing, because if a player wants to leave, they will. Yeah, well, there you go. That goes back to what I'm saying. The players have all the power. But if Enzo has any self-respect, he won't sit and claim the cash. Come on now, Kieran. Come on now. You're getting offered 300 grand a week and it doesn't work out for you. And you don't play well. And you're out of the team. And then the club want to sell you. And then the next team that's coming in buying you is offering you 50 grand a week. Are you going to leave your 300 grand a week contract to go and get 50 grand a week? Or are you going to see out an 8.5 year deal on 300 grand? I know what the majority of players will be doing. You know, that's the catch. You know, that's the catch. Chris says, no Kane. My mate is Newcastle fan. Say he could broken players' ankles. Dale says, I can count on one hand the City jerseys. I've seen one here. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But if you go back, Chris, to the early 2000s, you would never see one. You really wouldn't. So what do we win then, says Ian? EFL Cup, FA Cup and Europa, ? So, look, you would have to say we're favourites for the... Well, we're not favourites for it yet because we still have to get to the final of the EFL Cup. But if we do get to the final, we will go into that final probably as favourites. Now, it's not going to be easy against Newcastle. We have West Ham in the FA Cup. You would be expecting, if we play to our potential, that we should be beating West Ham. Although they're never an easy team. We do have them at home. By the way, how many home draws have we got in the cup competitions this year? My God. And the first year that I bought a cup season ticket, I'm fucking skint. All the money being taken out of my account automatically. And then look, Barcelona will be the most difficult one. I still do think we can beat them. I think the way the manager has us playing and how well we're playing at the moment, absolutely. So yeah, look, a trophy and top 4, I'll be really happy. Do you agree if Man United tried this 8-year thing and signed Jude Bellingham on a deal like that? United have been always very consistent with their contracts, you'd have to say. It's, you know, it's a 4-year deal with the option of a year added on, you know. Would you stretch that to a 6-year deal with the option of a year added on? I could see it happening, especially with new owners coming in. And they're going to say, listen, fuck off with your bullshit 3 and 4 year deals with the option on. Get a lad in. If it's Jude Bellingham, get him on a 7-year deal with the option of a further year. It all depends on what the owners want to do, you know. They're going to be in charge in another few months, whoever they are, you know. Any updates, guys? Let's have a look here and see. No updates in relation to Manchester United as we speak. Let's see. So Atletico Madrid have signed free agent Matt Doherty for the rest of the season. Spurs mutually terminated the right back's contract to allow him to join the Spanish club. I don't know what's going on at Spurs. Like, any Spurs fans in the chat there, let me know what is going on there. Jed Spence has gone to France on loan. You've terminated Doherty's contract. You're left with Emerson at right back. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on. If there's any Spurs fans in the chat, let me know what you think. What is going on? Let's see. Twig says, bit unrelated, but do you watch the Grand Tour or the old Top Gear? I watched all the old Top Gears and the specials and stuff like that. Yeah, I do. I like them, alright. Haven't seen them in a while now, but I do watch all the specials. Chris says, players need to be smarter. Sign a 4-year deal with a chance to get more wages with another club or an extension. Yeah, well, see, that's the issue. I mean, you know, I think players will only sign these big 7-8 year deals if they're getting huge wages, you know, at 200 grand plus a week. You know, a fucking, you know, a fringe player coming in at 19 years of age is not going to sign an 8-year deal on 15 grand a week. you're going to sign a 2-year deal. And, yeah, so I agree with you there, though, Chris. My voice is starting to go. It's been a long stream. What are we on? How long have we been on here for? 3 hours and 10 minutes. By far our longest stream. But it's good to see so many people in. Doherty is useless for Spurs and Ireland. Do you want to buy... Who do you want to buy the club? A billionaire to buy the league back? A billionaire to buy the league back and just act like City? Jesus, you're a negative man. Yeah, look, I mean, I've said this before in relation to whoever the owners are. All I care about is that they invest into the club properly. They put right people in right areas. And yeah, they rebuild the infrastructure, stadium, training facilities. Outside of that, you can't ask for much more as a fan, So, and the likes of the, state-run clubs, they're not going away. So, if you can't beat them, the rest of it. Ian says, United have the biggest fan base in the world. If they should set up a GoFundMe page. Yeah. Who do you think will buy United? I don't really know. Obviously, look, Jim Ratcliffe has his name in the hat. He's the only one so far to announce that he is interested in buying the club. I think we will know more in the coming weeks on potential buyers. But look, it goes back to what I said. As long as the owners are competent, invest properly, and put the right people in the right areas, then that's all you can really ask for as a fan. Porro on at right back, says Chris. I forgot to actually check what position he played in, to be quite honest with you. Is he a right back, Pedro Porro? I'm starting to get tired now. It's been a long stream. Yeah, he is a right back. Apologies. Yeah, he is. You're dead right, Chris. Is there any hope of signings tonight? Yeah, so look, in relation to signings, guys, it's basically just Sabitzer or Sabitzer. We're still waiting for official confirmation. I reckon everything is done. The T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. I think he's doing his medical as we speak. But again, the medical doesn't have to be done before the deadline. We can have the forms sent in, ready to go. Once the medical is passed, then bosh. So we'll get word. Obviously, we're only live for another maybe 15 minutes or so, but look, we'll get confirmation. GR says, it's the way forward with football and big clubs, Chelsea, City, Newcastle, whether you like it or not. Any links for tomorrow night's game, says David? I don't, David, I'm afraid. The tutor says, look at Leicester. After they won, they did not invest properly the season after, and you see what happened. Yeah. Ollie out till I die. Best move the club has done. What about Kane, says Jay? Yeah, we're just after talking about him. I reckon United will probably be in for him in the summer. But yeah. Let's have a look. Any updates? Doesn't seem to be much happening. We've still got 17 minutes to get rid of Phil Jones, though. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Is it going to happen? John says Ten Hag is a man to bring us back. Absolutely, John. What number short will he get? Does anyone know? I'm not actually quite sure. Forgot about Phil Jones, says Mark. Yeah, all we have to do is just say, look, Phil Jones is fit there, lads, and all of a sudden Todd Bowley will be just run to Manchester to sign him. So... Ten Hag knows the players he needs for his philosophy. Top G, that one, says Stuart. I agree. And he always says it, you know. He says, we're not just going to sign players, we're going to sign the right players. And I love to hear that all the time. Ronaldo says, Ronaldo, how are you getting on over in the Middle East? Let us know there. He says, Phil Jones is still there. Think he's a shareholder of the club. No way of getting him out. Nah, I think they were pouring concrete in Carrington there about 12 months ago, and he just went and jumped in it, and he's been there ever since, just going, ha ha, you can't get rid of me. Phil Jones to Chelsea on a 9-year, 3-month deal. There you go. Phil Jones is still holding on to that number 4 jersey. He certainly is. The last transfer market, Jones has survived as a Manchester United player, says Dan. This is it. He's gone in the next one. Just listening to the updates here on Sky Sports News. Do you think Harry should be sold, says Luke? No, not in this transfer window. I think we're obviously short on players, and you know we haven't got a lot of depth. So no, I wouldn't be selling him this transfer window. I'd be holding on to him and till the summer at least. So Pedro Porro has been, according to Fabrizio Romano, he's a Tottenham player. So that deal is done and dusted there as well. Just waiting on the admin, he says, from Spurs. So Ten Hag has also confirmed today as well that McTominay is out for weeks with a muscular injury. So, look, I think it is important that United did get Sabitzer. Is that... I fucking keep forgetting his name. Sabitzer. Yeah, look, we needed it. We really did, didn't we? Kata says, Sabitzer confirmed yet? No, he's not confirmed yet, but it looks like it's basically done. Like, all of the paperwork is done and it's been submitted and everything like that. United just need to pull the trigger on it with the medical. He's doing his medical at the moment, I think. But like I said, the medical can go on after the deadline. United just pull the trigger on, I think you can get it. Someone was saying earlier, you can also get a 2-hour extension if you apply for it, something like that. Lozano said, you'll find Phil Jones under Fred the Red mascot. Oh. Fabrizio has given the here we go, so it's pretty much a done deal. Yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. Fabrizio doesn't get too much wrong, in fairness to him. Yeah, so look, we're closing in on deadline day, guys. We've got 10 minutes to go. Did Tottenham sign Pedro Porro? Yeah, so it's basically been announced by Fabrizio Romano there a moment or two ago. We're just waiting on Spurs to announce the official deal. They're working on it at the moment, supposedly. So yeah, that's done and dusted. Is he being brought in because of Eriksen injury, says James? Yeah, absolutely, James. He's only on loan till the summer. And there isn't an option to buy, according to... There was contrasting or conflicting reports earlier on that, there was an option to buy, then there wasn't, and there was, and there wasn't. So yeah, as far as I know myself and what I've read, that there isn't an option to buy in relation to him in the summer. But yeah. Are we going to do a countdown like New Year's? 10, 9, 8. No, I don't think so. But yeah. How much do you think Spurs will want for Kane? Too much for a 30-year-old. 70 million, I think, would be a fair price for him. Anything north of that. And look, Spurs know he only has 18 months left on his deal. He'll only have 12 months in the summer, when teams are coming in for him. So they're going to be aware of that. So if they ask for a ridiculous price and they price other teams out of the market, then they're going to lose him for free the following season. So I think for that reason, I think 70 million probably would be a reasonable price for him. I really do. Dan says Frankie, Vlahovic, Kim Min-jae, Timber and another CDM next summer would be what United need. Yeah, what we need and what we get is there's a big difference. I like that Kim Min-jae, I have to say. If you give me Frankie, him, and Kane or Osman and Tielemans, I'd be happy with that. Football Sports says what Chelsea are doing should be illegal. I know what I have, broken financial fair play. Kane will be a great signing, says user. So yeah, what have we got? Just under 8 minutes to go. 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So yeah, look, it doesn't look like there's going to be much more done. Obviously, it's disappointing we haven't got the official announcement. Oh wait, now Fabrizio has said. One sec now. Let me just double check it here. Fabrizio Romano, Sabitzer announcement incoming. So hopefully we'll get it before the 11 o'clock deadline. Yeah, if we do, it would be great to finish the live stream with that announcement. So yeah. Chris says Spurs will not let Kane go to United for less than 90 million. And Alex says what Chelsea are doing should be illegal. I'm not just saying that. We read that one already. I'm having problems with my Wi-Fi. Can you please tell me if Sunderland signed anybody? Thank you. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Jay Anderson, Joe Gelhardt, Lahadi, and Ekwa. That's all I can find. Hope that helps, but yeah. Let's see. Ian says, we definitely would not have signed anyone if it wasn't for the injury. Yeah, I agree with you, Ian. And that's what annoys me more than anything. The fact that it took an injury for us to go into the transfer market when clearly we could have done it without the injury to add another player in terms of depth into the squad. That's what annoys me. Mark says we should sign Osman instead of Kane, but I'll take Kane. He's still a brilliant player, just a bit old. Nothing about Sabitzer yet. No, not yet, but Fabrizio Romano has said that there is an announcement incoming. Hopefully we'll get it before the 11 o'clock deadline. I continue to refresh here. So yeah, all of the Twitter outlets are all announcing the same thing, that the announcement is incoming. So whether we get it in the next 4 minutes, probably not. Let's see. Keep smashing the like button for us as well, guys. Really do appreciate it. Let's try to get to 25,000 likes in the next 3.5 minutes. 25,000 likes before the transfer deadline day ends. Tap the screen a few times for me. Get them likes up if you can. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the follow button. Daily Manchester United content. All of the United watch-alongs throughout the season as well. So make sure you're not missing out. Hit the follow button. We're on the road to 25,000 followers, which is great as well. So I really appreciate all the support. Yeah, and turn on the bell notification if you want to be notified when we go live or when we put something new up. Make sure you hit the bell notification on my homepage as well. But yeah, how many players have been signed by United? So technically none so far, but Sabitzer announcement is incoming. So even if it's not before the 11 o'clock deadline, all of the paperwork has been done. We're just waiting on United to announce it, basically. Tom says 3 more minutes and Enzo Fernandez isn't a Chelsea player yet. He is. It's been announced. Phil says he's a great replacement for Eriksen. We'll be making the deal permanent in the summer. There you go. Well, there isn't an option to buy, but that doesn't mean you can't offer it, or put in a transfer bid for him. You know what I mean? It just means that if he has a very good season, second half of the season with United, there'll be competition for him. Whereas if there was an option to buy, you nearly get first dibs on him more than anything, So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So what have we got? 90 seconds to go. I wonder what United will be like 90 seconds to go after the next transfer window. That's something that I'm looking forward to. Sky Sports said there was an option to buy included. Yeah, it's been back and forth. Some outlets are saying there is. Some outlets say there isn't. I don't know. We'll find out sooner or later. What would you rate the January transfer window out of 10? From a United standpoint, 4. So James Ducker has just said United have filled out the deal sheet on Sabitzer before the 11 p.m. Deadline. Got until midnight to finalise the loan. It's on track to get done. There we go. So don't worry, anybody. It's basically done. In relation to the January transfer window in general, I mean, it's been the biggest spend ever. Is that a good thing? I think you take Chelsea out of that, then it probably wouldn't have been. So yeah, I don't know. In terms of a United standpoint, it's been a poor transfer window, you would have to say. You would have hoped that there was money there to, buy players. But, you know, we got what we needed. The transfer window is officially closed. We've got what we needed in relation to a striker, and obviously now, in the last couple of days, we've got another central midfielder. And we've needed it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Look, like I said, guys, it's been... I've really enjoyed this, I have to say. What have we been on for now? We've been on for 3.5 hours, non-stop. I'm not going to have any voice left in the morning, if I'm being quite honest with you. And I'm starving as well. So, look, it's been really good. For anyone who's new to the channel, guys, please do hit the follow button if you're watching on TikTok. We do daily Manchester United content. We do all of the watch-alongs throughout the season as well. So make sure you're not missing out. Hit the follow button. Helps out the channel an awful lot, as you know. We're closing in on 25,000 followers as well. So I really appreciate it. If you do have a second... On my homepage, there's a link to the YouTube channel. Just click the link, hit the subscribe button to the YouTube channel as well. We do all of our watch-alongs over there as well, with the full experience, the timer, the scoreboard, the starting 11, all on the screen. We're going to be back tomorrow night for the watch-along against Nottingham Forest. We're live from 7:30, both on TikTok and on YouTube. We do our podcasts on YouTube only. So anyone on TikTok, if that's something you do want to get involved with, come and watch us. We go live on Monday nights at 7:30 as well. We record our podcast live. It's called the United Community Podcast. You can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to it. Go check it out. Give us a 5-star review. But make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. Following us on TikTok. And we're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Snapchat. We're on Discord. We've got a fantasy football code that you can get involved as well. Get on the Discord as well, guys. Starting to, the Discord is starting to gain a bit of traction as well. So make sure you get in on that as well. The link is on my homepage to all of my social medias, guys. And as well, anyone on YouTube, if you do want to become an official member and join our members only video on Thursday nights, link is in the description. Go check out the options there. But look, in relation to United, Sabitzer has not officially been announced, but as we said, all of the paperwork has been submitted, and United have until 12 o'clock tonight to finalise the deal. So we've got an hour. But look, I've really enjoyed it, guys. Thanks to everyone who's watched. Thanks to all the likes, comments, shares, subscribes. Please do join me tomorrow night. We're live from 7:30 for Manchester United's semi-final second leg tie against Nottingham Forest in the EFL Cup. Obviously, you would be hoping United can see it out, get to the final, get the job done, trophy in the bag, get top 4. Come on, it's going to be a good second half of the season. Thanks to everyone who's joined, guys. Really appreciate it. For those who are joining tomorrow, see you tomorrow. For everyone else, see you down the road. Thanks a mil.